Alrighty, welcome back everybody to our latest severe weather coverage. Hope everybody's having a good afternoon thus far. We are live with a tornado warning in Texas. We are entering into a very populated area where there is a growing risk of severe weather this evening. It is currently 7:36 p.m. Central Time, and we are currently watching for an increasing risk of severe weather over the next 30 minutes to an hour near the DFW Metroplex. And we do have a tornado warning that was just issued. This is just outside of Fort Worth, Texas. This does include Weatherford, Texas, where we do have a discrete supercell that is currently rotating right over the east side of Weatherford. This is approaching Hudson Oaks, heading towards Dicey, Willow Park, and then will eventually be pushing up towards White Settlement and Pelican Bay, Texas. So this is, again, just outside of Fort Worth, Texas. If you are in this tornado warning, you need to be getting to your safe place immediately. Get away from windows, get on the lowest floor possible, and get to an interior room of your home or building. This is our second tornado warning of the day. The other one that we had was actually with the same exact storm further back off to the west near Mineral Wells. This is not a super fast moving storm. It has been ongoing for well over an hour now, and it is still rotating, and it has been on and off. It has been cycling. It's actually right along an outflow boundary right now, but notice how much it's organized over the last few minutes. It looked very flat on radar. We didn't really have any sort of hook echo. This right here is your outflow boundary a little bit further down to the south near Weatherford, but over the last couple of minutes you can actually see that we've begun to see more of a hook echo and an inflow on the north side. So it's actually beginning to organize now, and as it moves into Willow Park and eventually going towards Sanctuary, there is a possibility that this could drop a tornado. We do have a new radar scan coming out right now, so we're going to stay on this storm. There are two other storms that I am concerned about as well. We have one actually heading towards Sherman, Texas, that now has a tornado possible label. What that means is that we are watching for a potential for a tornado within the next 15 to 20 minutes as that storm heads off to the north, going in the direction of Sherman and also Denison, Texas. That is all the way back up in Grayson County, and that storm is continuing to move off to the northeast. Also, the clock at the top right of your screen, that has just been fixed. This is the latest radar scan. Still have an area of stronger rotation on the northeast side right now of Weatherford. This is just outside of Hudson Oaks, Texas. I'm going to call out some places here as well so you have an idea of where this area of rotation is currently located. This is located right now near Route 180, so this is right over the Mesquite Pit, which is a restaurant. It's also near the R&K Cafe and just to the west of the Malt Shop. So those are a few of the locations that are currently right on the cusp of where that strongest area of rotation is, which again is just on the northeast side of Weatherford. This will be tracking into Dicey in about 5 minutes. Also Wampler, which is a small little community just outside of Weatherford. That is another area that's going to be in the track of this in just a moment. By the way, this is radar indicated rotation. This is going to be for, again, Parker County, Texas. I want to go back off to the north. This is another storm that we are keeping a very close eye on. This is back up in Sherman, Texas. This storm has a tornado possible label. You can see the rotation is actually not super tight, but there is a broad area of rotation that is going to be approaching South Maid and as well as going towards Knollwood on the west side of Sherman. This storm is currently moving to the northeast at about 15 miles per hour, so it is a very slow moving supercell, but it is right along our warm frontal boundary, which means that there is an elevated amount of wind shear in this environment, so a good amount of spin, and so this storm is attempting to also drop some sort of tornadic threat here over the next 15 to 20 minutes. That'll be tracking up towards Denison. There's also a decent little hail core on this storm that's producing around quarter to $half size hail moving off to the northeast. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning that has been upgraded. This is to the southwest of DFW. This is a big line of storms, so we got 2 rounds of storms right now coming towards Dallas-Fort Worth. We got that discrete supercell just to the west of Fort Worth, and then we got a big line of thunderstorms that is all the way back over towards areas like Palo Pinto County, all the way through Hamilton, Texas. This is producing a widespread swath of 60 to 70 mile per hour damaging winds, with our most intense winds currently located over Stephenville. You can actually see the winds here. These are bright blue colors, which indicate 60 to 70 mile per hour winds right now going through the east side of Stephenville, Texas. This will be tracking towards Granbury as well as Glen Rose and eventually going towards Cleburne, Texas. So if you have any friends or family in the path of these storms, definitely make sure that they're aware of this. We will be providing commercial-free coverage here over the next hour or two as these storms do move into DFW. If you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or even in a rural area just outside of DFW, make sure that you are preparing for these storms, as we do have a significant wind threat that is coming out of a line of thunderstorms, and then on top of that, we obviously have a bit more of a significant possibility of a tornado with any of these discrete storms that are out in front of the line of thunderstorms. I do want to jump over to our latest mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center. We do have a new update that just came out from the SBC not too long ago. They outlined a corridor where our highest tornado potential would be over the next hour or two. So let's hop over to here and let me do this. So this right here is the latest SBC mesoscale discussion, basically outlining a locally higher tornado potential near the surface warm front and the differential heating boundary, which is essentially located just around and west of I-35, which is where our most favorable storms are currently. They have outlined that the most probable peak intensity for tornadoes is between 85 to 115 miles per hour, damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour, and then hail up to the size of $half is also a possibility. We even have a more recent mesoscale discussion, which is for the line of thunderstorms that is southwest of DFW, and they've outlined that that linear segment of storms will pose some risk for damaging winds and a QLCS tornado or two, which means we could see a tornado embedded in that line of thunderstorms as it makes its way to the northeast, going in the direction of DFW. So anywhere in the Dallas-Fort Worth area will be in the track of that. They've also just gone ahead and updated the Storm Prediction Center outlook for tonight, which they have maintained the 5% tornado risk back over in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. This is the latest update. So the 5% tornado risk still does include the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There's actually 8 million people that are still included in that 5% tornado risk. Let me put the city labels on as well. So that does include just outside of Dallas. It is including Fort Worth. It does include Waco, Austin, San Antonio, and then also Houston, Wichita Falls, Dallas, Fort Still, Oklahoma, and just east of Amarillo. You guys are still in a 2% tornado risk for tonight, which means that there is still a possibility for an isolated tornado or two. All right, let's go back to live radar. The latest update on this tornado warning, it is still tornado warned. It is radar indicated rotation for Parker County, Texas. The latest radar scan still showing our strongest area of rotation, literally barely off to the east of Weatherford. This is a very slow moving area of rotation that is located on the east side of Weatherford, going into Wampler, Dicey, and also Willow Park here over the next few minutes. I also want to point your attention further off to the north, just to the west of Denton. There is a broad area of circulation that has been trying to develop for well over an hour now near New Fairview. So this storm may try to organize as it goes towards Ponder, Texas, Crum, and also Sanger. So if you're over in those areas, just keep an eye out for this area of storm activity that is currently tracking to the northeast. Also back over near Sherman, we still have a broad area of rotation that is approaching the Sherman area, South Mayard, and as well as going towards Pottsboro. Again, this is a very slow moving discrete supercell. It is going northeast at literally 15 miles per hour. This is not going to be fast moving by any means, but this is something that we are keeping an eye on as it could end up producing a risk for a tornado as it continues to move off to the northeast. Let's go over to John McKinney. He's actually currently coming up on the tornado warning. So this is a live shot from Storm Chaser John McKinney. He's also live inside of the Radar Omega app. He's also on YouTube. He is currently coming up onto that storm right now. He's currently located just to the north of Denton, I believe. His location tracker hasn't updated in a few minutes, but he is currently driving through some very heavy rainfall associated with some of the strong storms that are just outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So that is John McKinney. We've actually had some other storm chasers live on the Radar Omega app today and also across Texas, and most of them were actually down in southwestern Texas. If you are wondering why basically the entire thumbnail includes almost all of Texas, the reason why is because we also have a big area of storms all the way back down here that has also begun to really intensify south of San Angelo. This is primarily a linear area of thunderstorm activity at this point, but damaging winds and a couple of tornadoes are still a possibility, which is why there is a severe thunderstorm watch that also includes that area. Also, the Storm Prediction Center has just expanded the severe thunderstorm watch for North Texas. It now goes into McKinney, also going towards Rockwall, and also for those in Kaufman and Terrell. So if you're over in those areas, we now have a severe thunderstorm watch that includes you guys. That goes until midnight tonight. Biggest concern is damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour, up to golf ball sized hail, and a couple of tornadoes are on the table with this threat of severe weather. Let's go back to the tornado warning. The latest radar scan showing still a broader area of circulation now right over Dicey, Hudson Oaks, and Willow Park. Not looking nearly as intense, but the tornado warning still does continue. Damaging winds around 60 to 65 miles per hour will continue as well as this storm does approach the west side of Fort Worth. This is heading towards White Settlement, also going in the direction of Pelican Bay. Now keep in mind the storm has cycled a couple of times already. I want to point this out because do not let your guard down. I know the rotation's gotten a little bit weaker over the last couple of minutes, minutes. But this storm has already tried to produce a tornado well over an hour ago back over near Mineral Wells. It's cycled and it is trying to cycle again, and it will be going towards obviously a much more populated area. It's going towards Keller, Texas, Flower Mound, Corinth, and Denton, and those are all areas that are very populated in nature. So if you're in any of these spots in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you need to continue to stay weather aware. I would anticipate that within the next 10 to 15 minutes, we will get a new severe thunderstorm warning that will at least include areas around and just north of Fort Worth, perhaps even southwestern Denton County may also be included in that if they do issue a new severe thunderstorm warning. All right, let's go back up to Sherman. The last few radar scans are still showing a broad area of rotation. Once again, that is heading towards 82. Sadler's in the track of that. Hail is going to be the biggest concern with this storm, but as I alluded to, we do have a warm frontal boundary that is located right near the supercell, which means that we have more wind shear in place. So there is going to be a more elevated tornado threat for at least the next 20 minutes as this storm goes up towards 82, also approaching the west side of Sherman, Texas. Also, the radar is updating literally every minute or two, so that is really good news. It was only updating every like 5 minutes a few minutes ago, so it is updating more frequently, which is definitely going to help out being able to decipher what's going on radar. Also, new flash flood warning was just put out. That does include all of Parker County. Flash flood warning for you guys. We've already had around 1 to 3 inches of rainfall, and an additional 1 to 3 inches of rain is likely for this area within the next hour or two. The current rainfall rate is right around 1 to 2 inches of rain per hour, so localized flooding is becoming more of a concern right now just to the west of Fort Worth. Also, back over near Stephenville, I do want to point this out. We do have a strong area of wind that is currently going up towards Tolar and as well as Granbury. There is some rotation trying to develop here. This is a QLCS tornado risk, which means that we could get a tornado embedded in a line of thunderstorms. And this right here is moving right in the direction of Burleson, Joshua, and also going towards Benbrook, Texas. It will eventually track towards Arlington and Fort Worth. So even if this storm up here near Fort Worth starts to weaken and it doesn't look nearly as intense as a tornado threat, the storm that is northeast of Stephenville could try to have some sort of little bookend vortex where it tries to wrap around and might even try to produce some level of a tornado risk. The National Weather Service here at Fort Worth has put out a new severe thunderstorm warning that does include areas like Glen Rose, Texas, and Granbury. That is going to be for 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds, which is a considerable risk of severe weather. So if you are in that severe thunderstorm warning, definitely stay away from windows and be on the lowest floor possible if you are in that severe thunderstorm warning. Shout out to Tristan for the $10 super chat. Hope you're doing well, Max. Is Granbury in the clear? You guys are not in the clear, as I just alluded to. If you're back over in Granbury, Glen Rose, you guys are about to get hit hard by at least 60 to 70 mile per hour damaging winds. I do think there is a possibility for a tornado out of this storm at some point as it moves up to the northeast. It's been trying to wrap around a little bit here over the last few minutes, so this is definitely a storm that I'd be taking very seriously if you're in the Granbury area. As long as this storm is, within 20 miles of you, I'd definitely be staying weather aware. All right, latest radar scan back up near Weatherford. Still a broad area of rotation right now over Wampler, which is on the east side of Weatherford. That is about to cross into Willow Park. It will be coming up on Lakeside in about 15 minutes, which is just to the west of Fort Worth. Keep in mind, this tornado warning goes until 8 o'clock Central Time. So again, if you're in this warning, make sure that you are still in your storm shelter, basement, closet, or bathroom. Get away from windows and get on the lowest floor possible. All right, Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, sort of calling out a corridor of an enhanced tornado threat here, unfortunately, is basically going to be for much of the south side of the DFW metro. Taking a look at our significant tornado parameter values, which are one of the things that we use to look at the environment as a whole, we can see that the real only area of an increased tornado threat is where we're going to see this QLCS sort of clear out the convection in front of itself. We've been seeing a lot of these storms pop up ahead of the line. That is what is inhibiting the tornado threat so far. However, it is starting to make its way east of that convection. Once it is in clean air and there's nothing in its inflow region, we can expect an uptick in tornadoes. In fact, we already are starting to see some of those embedded mesocyclones with this line. So south side of Fort Worth and Dallas, make sure we are on alert for potential tornadoes.
Alrighty, thank you, Riley, for the update. So again, we are currently watching an intense line of thunderstorms with a couple of prefrontal supercells that are out in front of it. Obviously, the one near Weatherford is the one that is currently out in front of that line of thunderstorms. That is still tornado warned for the next 8 minutes or so. They have gone ahead and allowed this tornado warning to technically expire. I know it still says 1 tornado warning, but they just dropped it. They will allow it to expire at 8 o'clock. So that is what that essentially means. There is still technically a tornado warning, though, for the next 8 minutes, even though they're going to allow it to expire in 8 minutes. So they will not reissue a warning, it looks like, for the Dallas-Fort Worth area for now. But keep in mind, the storms that are down to the south also have my attention. It's a broad area of rotation right now that is right along 377, and that's going to go right up into Granbury in a few minutes, then going towards Cresson, Godley, and then eventually going into Tarrant County. So those are areas that should be watching for that storm very closely. Back over near Sherman, Texas, we still have this little discrete cell right along the warm front. Broad rotation continues near Collinsville. That'll be moving up towards 82 in a few minutes, and then going towards Pottsboro. So if you're in those areas, continue to stay weather aware. Thank you also to Taylor for the $5 super chat. How's it looking for Burleson? You guys are also in the line for this line of thunderstorms. I think the little this storm up here now near Weatherford is kind of semi-discreet. It's not nearly as organized as before, but the line of thunderstorms is what I'd be more concerned about for Burleson, Cleburne, Glen Rose, and even Fort Worth. I think the line is going to be much more impactful with the damaging wind threat being more elevated. On top of that, we could see a couple of spin-up tornadoes. So the next hour or two, really, again, the peak tornado threat will be ongoing here in North Texas. Also, thank you, Steven, for the super chat as well. I missed a few others as well. Thank you, Nate, also for the $10 super chat. Will Pearland, Texas, just south of Houston, get hit by severe storms? I don't expect anything tonight, but tomorrow is when you guys should be watching for more severe weather. If we go over here to the future radar, this is also something that you can look at on the Radar Omega app. This is the future radar for tonight and early tomorrow. So this is by 10 o'clock. We'll have a big line of thunderstorms going through basically all of DFW, also going through Killeen, Waco, and down through Austin. By around 12 o'clock or so tonight, that line of storms will be approaching Tyler, College Station, and Austin with damaging winds around 60 to 75 miles per hour, a little bit of large hail, and perhaps a tornado or two still being a possibility. And then tomorrow morning, that line will be moving all the way through Houston, Beaumont, and then eventually going into Louisiana. And then tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be watching for another potential for a few tornadoes, primarily in Louisiana, where there could be an isolated tornado or two during the afternoon hours. And then as we go again into Sunday morning, things will start to clear out again. But I do think the next 24 to 48 hours will be quite active here across both Texas and also Louisiana. But Louisiana, you guys still got some time until really anything significant starts to knock on your doorstep. Also, the severe thunderstorm warning for Grayson County, they have gone ahead and removed the tornado possible label. It is back down now to just a 60-mile-per-hour severe thunderstorm warning. There is no longer any sort of hail on this storm that is significant. It's down to nickel-sized hail, so not nearly as bad as before. We also have a wind gust that was reported out of Stephenville, Texas. A 66-mile-per-hour wind gust was observed at about 7:34 p.m., so about 20 minutes ago, back over in Stephenville, Texas. Sounds like we're gonna have another storm chaser here soon, back over in DFW. We obviously have storm chaser John McKinney, who is also live on the Radar Omega app, which you can download with the top link in the description below. He is currently located near Denton, Texas. So he's coming up on Denton right now. He is traveling along I-35 westbound, traveling south in the direction of that storm that's heading towards Fort Worth. So I'll have a really good view of the storm coming in here pretty soon. This is also a live shot with one of the Radar Omega cyclone ports. This is in Glen Heights. This is Glen Heights, Texas. Or sorry, not Glen Heights, Texas. This is DeSoto, Texas. But you can see at least in the distance, the line of storms starting to roll in. Got a few flashes of lightning out in the distance. Pretty windy ahead of the line of thunderstorms as well. Wind gusts right now around 30, 35 miles per hour. But decent amount of lightning coming in right now. So I'll at least have some decent views of this line coming in. This is also a virtual rail fan that is located back over in Fort Worth, Texas. So if you're back over in Fort Worth, this is kind of at least an idea of what you guys are looking at right now, other than the train. I don't think you guys have a train in the background in your backyard, but train is currently going by as well. Again, no severe thunderstorm warning for the time being for Fort Worth, Texas, but I would expect that we will get one here relatively shortly. Also, Riley, I don't have his link. I need that. Thank you, Kyle, for the $20 super chat. I know you said the tornado warning expires here in Weatherford. What do you expect the rest of the night for Weatherford? Well, we got another line of storms coming in right from the west, so I would anticipate that we will at least see some more gusty winds move through Weatherford here over the next 30 to 45 minutes. Flooding rainfall is going to become a concern too, so if you are in Weatherford, get ready for at least some heavy rainfall that could lead to some flooding. Outside of that, I don't really think we're going to see much more in terms of severe weather. After this storm pushes by, I think the tornado risk is much lower, but damaging winds will continue to be a possibility for at least the next hour or so. Thank you, Cody, also for the $5 super chat. How does it look for North Lake and Justin? This is going to be the storm to watch for. This right here and also this. This is a kind of a little cluster that is moving into Denton. I don't think we're going to see much in the way of a tornado risk with this right now. It's mostly just gusty winds. The velocities look very mediocre right now in terms of a tornado risk. But this storm down here, back over near Weatherford, moving towards Fort Worth, it has been moving to the northeast. It's starting to move a little bit more to the east-northeast now, so it might be moving more to your south. This one will be more of a hail and wind concern. Low-end tornado risk as well. The latest radar scan on the storm northeast of Stephenville still showing broad rotation moving towards Granbury, Texas. Not an imminent tornado concern, but obviously with this in trajectory for the Fort Worth area and Burleson, we need to keep a very close eye on this because it will have the potential of producing a tornado, I think, as it moves in the direction of Benbrook and Fort Worth. It's just going to take some time to really organize as it continues to move off to the northeast. Do we have a location for him, Riley? All right. Huge shout out to Caleb for the $50 super chat. How's it Aubrey look just east of Denton? I think the biggest concern back over in Aubrey will be a damaging wind threat, but there is still a low-end chance for a tornado. I do want to go over to our severe weather outlook here. This is your tornado risk for tonight. It's going to be a little bit hard to see. Let me take off the radar here. So our 5% tornado risk, again, is mainly going to be back over here around and just west of Fort Worth, which is right now where the worst of the storms are located. So it's just to the west of Dallas. The 2% tornado risk goes all across, again, most of Texas, even including Houston. 5% also goes all the way down towards San Antonio, Austin, Killeen, and Waco. So it's a very large area that is included in our 5% tornado risk. So again, if you're anywhere in this area, stay weather aware. This tornado risk is not going anywhere anytime soon. We're going to be talking about this literally all evening long, and even into the overnight hours, there will be a possibility for a couple of tornadoes after midnight, which is a reason why if you are back down in Austin or San Antonio, Houston, College Station, or Victoria, you want to make sure that you have ways to receive warnings. If you have a weather radio, have that ready to go. Have your phones charged up as well, because we could even see a couple of nocturnal tornadoes overnight tonight. A lot of the tornadoes that we will probably see, even overnight tonight, will be very brief and also not very easy to see on radar. They might happen in a split second, because that's sometimes what happens with lines of thunderstorms. That's when we see QLCS spin-ups. So that is one of the concerns that we definitely have for tonight. Thank you also, Nightmare, for the $10 super chat. How's Waxahachie looking? I think Waxahachie, you guys are going to get hit hard with this line of thunderstorms. There is a chance, again, for an isolated tornado, but damaging winds is the greatest concern right now. Once again, if you are just tuning in, we did have a tornado warning that was in effect for the Weatherford area that will officially expire in a minute. The rotation has broadened out substantially here over the last few minutes. I do not think we are out of the way, though, of a tornado risk. We are still watching, again, a broad area of actually pretty strong velocities moving into Granbury over the next 5 to 10 minutes. That will eventually move up towards Arlington, Fort Worth, Burleson, and Benbrook. So we are definitely not out of the way right now, again, of that tornado risk. This is back over to Storm Chaser John McKinney. He is now moving into the city of Denton, Texas. He just went through a pretty decent clip of rain there on the I-35 corridor. If you are traveling tonight, definitely take it slow on the roadways. Lots of rain has already fallen. Thank you, Alejandro, for the $10 super chat. I think Denton will be mainly gusty winds. Low-end threat of severe weather right now. It's going to depend on the storm back over near Weatherford. It depends on if it gets its act together or not. Yeah, apparently we have... Where is he? Alright. We do have another chaser also located in Weatherford that I'm keeping an eye on. So we have 2 different chasers out here in North Texas tonight. All right, let me go back over to the wide view. We just got a new severe thunderstorm warning northwest or just west of Killeen, Texas. This is back over near Lampasas and Kepner. That is going to be for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. That is currently heading in the direction of Killeen, eventually going towards Temple and Belton. We also have a live camera back over here near Killeen, which is another radar Omega cyclone port. I'll put that up on the bottom right in just a moment once it loads, but we'll have a view of this line of storms as it pushes into that area pretty soon. This line is not overly organized right now, but over the next hour, I would anticipate it will become more organized, and that will help to increase the damaging wind and the isolated tornado threat as this line of thunderstorms pushes off to the east. So this is definitely a line that will continue to organize here over the next hour. But again, that is for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds moving currently to the east. This is a live shot right now from Killeen, Texas, and you can see the winds are starting to pick up a little bit. A little bit of lightning also out on the horizon. Once again, the tornado warning for Weatherford has just expired, so that is no longer ongoing. By the way, fun fact, if you guys didn't notice, we are actually in a new weather studio. This is going to be the permanent one. Still working on it, but just a little heads up. We are now in a... Actually, the winds are picking up quite a bit now in Killeen. But yeah, again, we are now in a new weather studio. This will be the permanent one. We got to fix some of the lighting, but it's a work in progress. Thank you, Edward, for the PayPal donation. It's only 55 degrees in northeast Arkansas. That is cold. The warm frontal boundary right now is currently located right about here. So if you're north of that warm front, it's going to feel quite a bit colder. You can actually go over to the METAR data, look at the current temperatures. And look how dramatic of a difference the temperatures are right now. We got some areas in the low 80s still, and it's obviously past sunset, but we still got some low 80s back over to the south of DFW. If you go back up towards, Springfield, it's almost in the upper 40s right now. It's almost enough to at least have a little bit of sleep. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning just south of Amarillo, Texas. That is for quarter-sized hail that is moving in the direction of kind of the middle of nowhere, but just southeast of Canyon. That'll be pushing southeast. No tornado risk currently with that storm. Let's go back over to DFW. I have a few people asking about a Hurricane Melissa update. Guys, if you guys didn't know, Tornado Pagey / Bryce Shelton. Bryce Shelton will actually be the one chasing Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica. You can subscribe to him on YouTube. The name is Tornado Pagey. They're also going to be live on the Radar Omega app. They will be chasing Melissa in Jamaica, which is just crazy. Melissa is going to be a catastrophic hurricane. I don't really see many other ways around it. Unfortunately, Jamaica could get hit very, very hard by that. It could be the worst hurricane we've ever seen in Jamaica, at least in the last 50, 100 years. It does not look good. It's likely going to make landfall in Jamaica on, I believe, Sunday or Monday, but it will be stalling offshore for probably 2 or 3 days. We'll have another video talking about it tomorrow. There is even a chance we have live coverage for that, but 30+ inches of rain is going to be in play for Jamaica, which is insanity. I mean, we are talking about the potential for catastrophic flooding, mudslides. Those homes are not built to withstand category 4 to 5 winds, and that is the possibility of what this hurricane could do. It could literally become a category 5 hurricane, which I do think it will become a category 5 before making landfall in Jamaica. So, unfortunately, a very catastrophic situation. And I use these words very far in between. As many of you guys know, I hardly ever use the word catastrophic, but literally, I'm not kidding when I say it. It will likely be catastrophic to Jamaica. We could see that country take a really substantial hit from that hurricane. So prayers to anybody there. Hopefully, if you were able to evacuate, hopefully you're able to. Again, evacuations, the only way you could would be by plane. I mean, you can't really drive anywhere. So yeah, definitely a devastating situation, but let's hope that things change, but it's already begun to it's starting to rapidly intensify already. The pressure is dropping much faster now than before, so it's starting to definitely ramp up in intensity. All right, going back to North Texas, let's go back over to Sherman. The latest few radar scans not showing really much of any rotation anymore. The severe thunderstorm warning here near Whitesboro and Sherman is currently for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. This will be approaching Denison, Texas here over the next 10 to 15 minutes. This is going to be tracking up towards Durant and Kingston. So if you're back over in Durant or Kingston, Oklahoma, be ready for an isolated hail and wind risk as this storm continues to lift to the north. Back over in Denton, we got some light rain that is currently filtering into many areas in Denton. This is kind of stabilizing our atmosphere a little bit for Denton and anywhere just north of Denton, including Pilot Point, also near Ray Robert Lakes. So overall, the risk of severe weather is definitely lower right now if you're back over on the north side of Denton. I'd still be staying weather aware, though. If you're anywhere from this line and southward, we definitely still have a risk of severe weather. If this can start to clear out and this storm gets a little bit more organized, I wouldn't rule out some severe weather heading into Denton or McKinney, but the risk does not appear super high right now. The storm that was tornado warned, again, near Weatherford, no longer tornado warned. The rotation is much broader at this time, but there is still a potential right now for damaging winds around 60 miles per hour and an incredible amount of lightning right now near Springtown, also near Weatherford, approaching Benbrook and Fort Worth. It'll be going towards Keller in about 15 to 20 minutes, and then eventually approaching Flower Mound and Carrollton within about a half an hour. So if you're in those areas, be ready for wind, maybe even some hail, and a low-end tornado potential as this continues to move northeast. Back over to the west of Cleburne, Texas. We've been watching this line of storms very closely. There is still a broad area of rotation that is coming up into Granbury. This is traveling right along US 377. That's going to be going towards Burleson, eventually Benbrook, Joshua, and Cleburne, going towards I-35 west. Again, damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour is still the biggest concern. This is still a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. There is still a possibility, though, for a QLCS tornado or two as that moves to the northeast. And then back over to the west of Killeen, Texas, we still got a pretty intense line of thunderstorms that's going to go through La Pasas here pretty soon. This is once again a live shot from Killeen, Texas, of the line of storms moving in right now. It's starting to get a little bit windier here, and the lightning is starting to pick up a little bit more in intensity as well. Hey, he live for the $5 super chat on the patio in Lakeside, getting wild. Don't recommend you being on a patio, but stay safe. Thank you also, Glory, for the $10 super chat. Any idea for McKinney? I think the biggest concern will be wind. Right now, not seeing anything imminent for the tornado risk, but we are going to be keeping an eye on that. All right, we got another chaser. This is Nick Gorman, bottom right of your screen. He's going to be coming up towards Fort Worth here soon. He's actually, if we go over to the little map here of cameras, all those blue circles, by the way, are cameras we can show on stream. Nick Gorman's actually located near Weatherford right now. And so we're going to have a view with him. This is what it looks like currently from his perspective going into Weatherford. So this is just outside of where, this is basically where the tornado warning was. No visibility, basically. This is right on I-20, going eastbound. There's almost no visibility. So, I mean, right now, John McKinney, who's located in Denton, it's not raining really much right now. This is the polar opposite. This is on the east side of Weatherford, going towards Willow Park. There's also quite a bit of lightning being indicated by radar. I haven't seen too many flashes, but there's an occasional flash here and there. Could even see some cloud to ground lightning tonight. Thank you, Max, for the $5 super chat. Is anything bad going to happen in Paris, Texas? I think the risk of severe weather in Paris is overall going to be on the lower side of things, but there is a threat of isolated damaging winds. Not really expecting much of a tornado risk. Hey, Wingham for the super chat. As of right now, nothing has reached Dallas. We haven't had any storms reach Dallas yet. Oh, I do want to throw this out there. This is pretty crazy stuff. If we go into tomorrow's severe weather outlook, this does pertain to Texas as well, but we do have a 5% tornado risk back along the Gulf Coast and a 2%, which does include areas like Austin, Texas, so a few tornadoes are also possible tomorrow. Look at this, though. We got a 2% tornado risk back up in western Oregon tomorrow, just outside of Salem, which is quite crazy. We don't usually see that very often. So, little heads up, if you're back over in western Oregon and tuning in, a little rare 2% tornado risk up there, especially for the month of October. Don't see that very often. Shout out to Vex with the $10 super chat. Opinion on Gatesville, Texas. Kind of know where Gatesville is. Let me look it up. Isn't that back near Killeen? I think Gatesville will be mainly a wind threat. The tornado risk, I don't think is going to materialize very much by the time this line gets to you. Right now, pretty much just an outflow dominant line of thunderstorms going towards Waco, but mainly a wind threat. Very low-end tornado risk. Thank you, Leah, for the $10 super chat. Thank you for your coverage tonight. No problem at all. This is our first live stream in approximately 30 days. 31 days. There's not been a whole lot of weather recently to really cover on live streams. And this is one of the events that I kind of we've been on standby all day today pretty much. We were on standby yesterday. This is obviously a much more populated area, which is the reason why we are live, especially if anything were to go crazy with the storm that we had near Weatherford. That one looked pretty crazy, but obviously this line has been pretty intense, and if anything can spit out in terms of a tornado risk, we definitely have to be here just in case something happens, because we are entering a over 8 million people population here across the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So very intense storms tonight. It's a big line. You're not going to miss the storms. Trust me. If you're in DFW, you are getting hit with something. Whether that is a severe storm or it's just an ordinary thunderstorm, you're going to hit with something tonight. We got a big line coming through. Flooding risk is going to be increasing as well within the next hour or two as this line moves through. With this being such a populated area, with there being so many underpasses as well, there will almost undoubtedly be localized flooding here across the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is something I do want to urge you of. If you are traveling tonight, turn around, don't drown on the roadways. We do not need more flooding incidents here in a very populated area. But there could be some closed roadways tonight once this rain really starts to kick into gear. Thank you, Caroline, for the super chat. Is the line for Granbury going to affect Mansfield? This is all going to go through Burleson. I mean, basically, this line right here is going to impact anybody in DFW. The line is going to hit basically everybody. I think the greatest concern will be damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour, but there is still a possibility for an isolated tornado or two out of this line. But the discrete supercell possibilities at this point have gotten a lot lower. The storm that was discrete has become messy again, and it is also not very discrete. It's about to get merged into that line of thunderstorms back off to the west of Weatherford. Huge shout out to Juan with the $20 super chat. No rotation really near Decatur. If you're in Decatur, you guys are pretty much done with the tornado aspect of this risk tonight. Also, thank you, Charisma, for the super chat. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of severe weather in Oklahoma tonight. It should be mostly just to the south of the Red River Valley. Let's go back down to the south. As of right now, not seeing as much rotation near Granbury. We can also look at the terminal radar site, which does not go to Granbury yet. The terminal radar site, which is basically a radar site at the airport, is still showing some broad rotation just off to the west, or just out to the south of Springtown. So something we're still keeping an eye on. I honestly would not be surprised if the storm west of Denton tried doing something too. It doesn't look that great right now, but it is right along the line of thunderstorms. We got a little bit of an inflow now. So low-end tornado potential going towards Denton. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey, Max, I actually have two updates. First of all, we did just get a new severe thunderstorm watch. This includes places like San Antonio and College Station. That goes till 3 a.m., and that does include a couple of tornadoes possible. Also, another thing I wanted to touch on is our slight risk of excessive rainfall. This is what it looks like from the weather predictions anywhere in that yellow. That is where we have that slight risk. And then over on the NWS watch warnings and advisory display, anywhere we're seeing this dark green, and this dark green is also included underneath this pink. This pink's our severe thunderstorm watch, and this green is our flood watch. So that flood watch goes through tonight. We are going to see some heavy rainfall totals, and that will lead to both flash flooding and just flooding in general over the next couple of days.
Thank you, Riley, for the update. So there is the severe thunderstorm watch. This does include San Antonio, Austin, College Station, Fairfield, and Killeen, Texas. Also, Kerrville is included in it, which is where that massive flooding event happened back earlier in the summer. A couple tornadoes are possible. Scattered hail to the size of ping pong balls, and also scattered damaging wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour is likely. This does include approximately 5.6 million people. So a lot of people are in this watch, have multiple ways to receive warnings tonight, and have a tornado action plan ready to go. This goes until 3 a.m., by the way, so it is a pretty late severe thunderstorm watch for that area. Speaking of flooding, we just got a new flash flood warning back over in Gainesville, Texas, just to the west of Sherman. This is going to be for Grayson and Cook counties. Right now, so far, between 2 to 3 inches of rain has fallen, and we are expecting that another 1 to 2 inches of rain will fall, at least in the next hour, and then additional rainfall amounts up to 2 to 4 inches of rain are possible. So rainfall rates currently around 1 to 2 inches per hour with that area of storms as well. Another area I'll be keeping an eye on for maybe a low-end tornado potential within the next half hour would be the very far southern part of this line right here that's bowing out a little bit. That's going up towards Waxahachie. So this will be something to keep an eye on. Not imminent, but if you're back over in Blum, Italy, or back over near Waxahachie, this is something I'll make sure that we're keeping an eye on, because that also has a low-end chance at least of a tornado within the next half hour. Huge shout out to Interrogation Files with the 20 gifted members. Put some W's in the chat for Interrogation Files. Really appreciate that. If you got gifted membership, make sure to thank them in the chat. Also, thank you, Fat, for the $10 super chat. Max and Riley are in the house. Good to see you. It's been a while since we've had a severe weather coverage, so we are back. Thank you also, Freak, for the super chat. Tornado threat in Atoka, Oklahoma. The threat is very low for Oklahoma tonight. I think it'll all stay south of the Red River, which is honestly a rarity. Usually it's flipped. A lot of the time when we have tornado events like this, it's usually actually like it kind of kicks up more north of the Red River. Tonight, it's all basically south of the Red River. It's mainly because of the fact our warm front is basically stalled now up here, right near the Red River Valley. So everything should be basically south of that. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, I wanted to talk about the same area you just talked about actually, and sort of talk about why this may produce a tornado sooner than some of the convection to the north. So if you're taking a look at this on radar, we can see a lot of these little beans trying to embed themselves in the line. This is actually some new convection that we're seeing pop up. We have seen in the past where we see these new beans pop up and they actually manage to embed themselves in the line and sort of force a quick second of stronger rotation. I do think that's probably going to happen with one of these. It's right now it's quantity over quality in terms of the convection going up here, but probably something closer down to where we have the storm kind of making an angle. Something will manage to root and produce a tornado at least at some point in time. So that's a little bit more of a focused look on this area near Walnut Springs of what could happen in order to produce a tornado.
Alrighty, thank you, Riley, for the update. So once again, that is an area that we'll be keeping an eye on for the next half hour. Keep in mind, I've already kind of alluded to this, but this is not a very fast-moving line of thunderstorms. So again, Fort Worth, you guys are still probably about 20-30 minutes until the worst of it actually hits you. But obviously, stay weather aware before that, because we are keeping an eye on the evolving situation here that some of these storms could try to intensify as they move into Fort Worth, the Dallas area, Denton, and even McKinney. So again, over 8 million people are in this risk. If you have any friends or family in the DFW area, give them a heads up. Just, you know, give them a call, give them a text. You can also share the stream with them. Again, we'll be live here for at least the next hour or two as this line of thunderstorms pushes through the DFW area. And again, tornado risk is not zero by any means. We do have a 5% tornado risk that is currently in place. Thank you, Alejandro, for becoming a member, and Ashley for the super chat. From in Flower Mound, Texas. I used to live near Flower Mound. I am very familiar with the DFW area, which is another reason why we often go live for DFW threats. This is an area that I'm very familiar with. We've covered North Texas unlike any other. We go live literally for almost any North Texas event that has any look at being significant, and this one definitely does. This is also John McKinney. He's actually coming up on the storm right now west of Denton. So let's go over to John McKinney. This is a live shot from him. He's actually located on Route 380. You can see his location on the bottom right of your screen. He's actually going up towards the one near Decatur, which has been trying to spin a little bit. The terminal radar site has shown at least very broad rotation. Not much, but it's been trying. It might just be a little bit outflow dominant right now. There's also a decent amount of rain cooler out in front of it, so it's been struggling a little bit, but that's what it looks like out there right now. It is pitch black, so it's gonna be hard to really see anything, but we've had some occasional lightning strikes. He's only about 7 miles away from this leading edge of the line, so he's coming up on it right now. And then back over to, this is Nick Gorman. And he's located back over near Weatherford right now. He's east of Weatherford. Plenty of road construction. Anybody in the DFW area have to drive through road construction every day? Got some road construction over here. I don't know what road this is, but this is pretty close to the Willow Park area, I believe. Thank you, Amanda, for the $10 super chat. By the way, we are working on getting locations for every chaser on the screen. That will hopefully be something with the new overlays that we're making here soon. Everywhere, all the time. Construction everywhere. North Texas is a rapidly growing area, so it's really not that surprising. There's plenty of construction there, though. We just got a new severe thunderstorm warning for Edwards County, Texas. That is, I believe, very far south of southern Texas. This is west of Kerrville. That'll be for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds going towards Rock Springs. Back over near Killeen, Texas. Again, severe thunderstorm is coming your way here pretty soon. Keep in mind, these are very contaminated. If you're looking at Velocity's radar on the any radar app, including Radar Omega, they're going to look really contaminated. That is because they just are. They are not really looking very bright. This is not rotation. That is just damaging winds right now that is going to be moving towards Killeen, Texas. There is a low chance, though, that we could see a tornado come out of one of these storms at some point down the road. This is a live shot right now from Killeen, Texas, and it is pretty windy out there right now. This is not even the line of storms yet. This is just out in front of the line. You can see the flags there at the bottom of your screen. They are definitely gusting quite a bit. I mean, these are easily 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts. There's been a decent amount of lightning as well. But once again, that is just outside of Killeen, Texas. The wind speeds have been measured up to about 20 miles per hour. So decent clip of wind right now going through Killeen, and that is well ahead of our line of thunderstorms. Thank you, MP, for the super chat. How do you feel about the development of the MCS into San Antonio tonight? I think the wind will be the greatest concern still, but we can still see an isolated tornado or two spin up in that line. Thank you, Alejandro, for the Venmo donation as well, for the storm coverage in DFW. I appreciate that. By the way, we no longer have any severe warning for the Sherman, Texas area. There was a tornado possible label on this storm. It is now merged into a big cluster. The biggest concern right now, back over near the Red River, including Grayson and Cook counties, will be the risk of flash flooding. So this entire green polygon, we already have a flash flood warning in effect, but this rain is just going to keep stacking on top of it itself, and we're just going to keep seeing several inches of rainfall for at least the next 3 to 4 hours as this continues to just basically stall here in far northern North Texas. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, I'm looking at this area to the north of Weatherford, specifically right here. So it is gone in the latest radar scan, but there's a lot of storm interactions going on here. And actually, if we go back one radar scan, we can see a little bit of a tighter couplet. This is something that I could see coming back, maybe a little bit stronger. There's a lot of new convection popping up here, as well as in the existing line making it there. So there could be a quick spin up tornado that we might not even see on radar. The radar's only updating every 5 minutes again. A tornado might occur quicker than that. So we're off to the northeast of Weatherford. There's not a tornado warning right now, but I still would be taking shelter because there could be a quick spin up tornado in between radar scans, and we would not have a chance to warn that at the National Weather Service before that tornado has already done damage.
Alrighty, thank you, Riley, for the update. Yeah, 100%. Riley's on the nose with that one. This is definitely something that likely just dropped a tornado. Obviously, the radar is only updating every 5 minutes, but that is a small little storm interaction that happened near Wright, Texas, and that is likely a small little occluding tornado. It probably wasn't very strong, but I would have to assume that we at least had some sort of weak tornado there just outside of Weatherford near Wright. There's only a few little communities outside of Weatherford, but there are people that live here. I mean, again, all of North Texas is very populated, so even if we were to get a brief tornado like that, it can definitely cause damage and obviously impact lives. So keep in mind that yes, we could see a tornado literally go unwarned with this environment. We are seeing a quite the situation evolve here where we have so many different storms that are right now merging all together here. We got lots of different storms, and when that happens, we can sometimes get these little kick up tornadoes, little spin ups. So that is definitely a concern here over the next hour as these storms continue to just move here into DFW. That is a massive severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued. This includes Tarrant County, Hill County, and Johnson counties. That'll be for 60 mile per hour damaging winds. This severe thunderstorm warning includes 2.3 million people. One of the more populated severe thunderstorm warnings that you'll really ever get outside of like New York City and even Chicago. But if you are in Fort Worth, Cleburne, or back over towards Hillsborough, Texas, get ready for 60 mile per hour damaging winds. There is still a possibility for an isolated tornado. As we just alluded to, we just had a brief tornado, we think, northeast of Weatherford. I'm 99% sure that was a tornado. We could see another one try to drop here as this line continues to push into the DFW Metroplex. I'm still keeping an eye out on this storm west of Denton as well. This is not very organized, but it is beginning, it's at least starting to organize more. That'll be moving into Denton, Texas, also going towards Corinth and Frisco. Low-end tornado potential, mostly a wind threat for the time being. That is currently pushing towards McKinney. Very slowly. Thank you, Lizzle, for the $10 super chat, and also Randy for the $10 super chat. How will Georgetown fare this evening, north of Austin? Damaging winds the biggest concern, low-end tornado potential. I'm not seeing really much in the way of anything tornadic right now back over near Killeen, but we are going to have to keep an eye on this right here going towards Gatesville. At least a low-end tornado potential. Also going in the direction of Waco. We just got a new radar scan, and the latest scan not really showing a whole lot of rotation anymore near Willow Park. this little surge of wind here, just to the west of Benbrook, needs to be watched closely too. That'll be heading towards the southwest side of Fort Worth. Might have a low-end tornado potential here in a little bit. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, just got a new flash flood warning, including Wise County in Texas. I do want to point out that this is an observed flash flood warning. Emergency managers are reporting road flooding in the area. 2 to 3 inches of rain had already fallen. We're going to get another 1 to 3 in the area. Could see snow localized totals around 6 inches. There is convection that's stalled over this area, so unfortunately, I do think the flash flooding threat here is only going to get worse. We're probably looking at a considerable flash flood warning sometime in the next 30 minutes to an hour for now. So if you are in Decatur, Texas, please seek higher ground and don't drive through any floodwaters. They're going to be rapidly moving, and stay away.
Thank you, Riley, for the update. So again, more flash flood warnings are in effect. We now have a connecting line here of flash flood warnings that go from Wise County or Parker County all the way back up into Grayson County. So it's a pretty elongated area here of flash flood warnings. And obviously, a lot of rain is going to fall over the next few hours. Flash flood emergency, somebody just mentioned in the chat. I think I would say it's not very likely, but we cannot rule it out, especially if we get stalling storms, which we've seen the rain, again, really slow down here as it moves into DFW. And there's a lot of convection that has just bursted up. So we're going to continue to see a lot of rainfall. At the bare minimum, there will at least be some considerable flooding. A flash flood emergency, though, may or may not happen. That's just kind of hard to predict. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning west of Fort Worth. That is near Springtown, and also just to the south here of Decatur. That'll be for 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. I do want to point out that we have this discrete storm that is now merging with our line. I am starting to see at least some signs that at least the RFD surge, so our winds that are surging towards DFW, are starting to kind of wrap a little bit with some inflow. And if we start to see this kind of cluster all merge into one line, I do think there will be a slightly higher tornado potential going into the DFW area. So I mean, we're not seeing any signs right now of an imminent tornado threat, but there's definitely some organization trying to happen. And once all these storms just merge into one big line, we should at least start to see a slightly higher tornado risk take place, which, again, the tornado window right now, at least the greatest tornado threat for the Dallas-Fort Worth area, really anywhere in North Texas, is between now and about 10:30. So we have about 2 hours or so for the greatest tornado threat. And then further down to the south, near like Killeen, for example, I mean, the threat's going to be going for the next several hours. There's not really a specific peak time I have down here for Waco, back through, San Antonio and Kerrville, since this line is just going to be kind of, it's going to be making its way through this area over the next several hours. I don't really have a peak threat here. I think it'll just be kind of hit or miss when it comes to any sort of tornado risk. I think it'll be mainly a wind threat down here, back over near Killeen, Round Rock, and going towards Austin. Yes, Gainesville is in a severe thunderstorm watch. There's no tornado watch, though, currently. We should have a new radar scan in just about a minute. Again, the radar is only updating every 5 minutes again. It should be every 2 or 3 minutes, but for right now, it is only every 5 minutes. Thank you, Toxic, for the $10 super chat. Sherman, Texas, you guys are fine when it comes to severe weather right now, but flooding is going to become a big concern, I think, over the next few hours. So be ready for a more significant flooding threat to evolve. No flash flood warning for Sherman yet, but that'll probably get added once the rain really starts to come down there. Thank you also, Caroline, for the super chat. Mansfield timing. Mansfield, you guys will probably get hit by the line in about 40 minutes. This line of thunderstorms is pushing east at about 30 miles per hour. It's really not that fast. If we put a little timing guide on this thing, I'll do that in a second. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, latest radar scan directly west of the radar site. There's a couplet very quickly spinning up. There's going to be a tornado warning here shortly for Benbrook, Texas.
All right, thank you, Riley, for the update. My radar is not updated yet, but yeah, that is, you can actually see the hook on radar. This is what I was just alluding to literally 5 minutes ago. This was looking a little bit more concerning. Velocities have now updated, and that is what we're talking about. There is definitely some rotation now just to the southwest of Fort Worth, so get ready for a tornado warning heading in the direction of Benbrook, just northwest, or just north of Cresson. There's also velocities being measured here, upwards of 90 miles per hour over Chapin, just to the west of Cresson. So there are 90-mile-per-hour winds now being measured just to the southwest of Fort Worth, and there is rotation, and I would expect that we will get a tornado warning here. If we do not, that would be kind of surprising, but there is a hook echo, and this is clearing out pretty quickly because of the fact all these storms off to the north are now merging back into our line. So a tornado risk is increasing right now, again, heading towards Benbrook, Texas, just southwest of Fort Worth. If you are in the DFW area and you have any friends or family here, share the stream with them, get the word out there. Again, we are providing commercial-free coverage here on YouTube. But again, there is a tornado risk increasing here. Velocities are also super high. I mean, this is, again, destructive winds right now northeast of Granbury. Unfortunately, the radar is not in sales mode, which means that we are not getting radar scans every, like, 2 minutes. This is coming in every 5 minutes, which is brutal, because this could literally have already dropped. It could drop at any moment. So hopefully the radar starts to go back to a faster radar pace here, because this is very slow. We do have some terminal radar sites, but they're a little bit distant from that storm to really get any good grasp on the rotation there. The radar site in Abilene, Texas is also too far to the west. But yeah, again, this is definitely rotating right now, going towards Benbrook. But actively, no tornado warning, but I would be seeking shelter if you're southwest of Benbrook near Lake Shore States. At least out of precaution. I mean, again, we got a hook echo, and we have a very strong area of winds right now in areas just northeast of Granbury, Texas. This will be moving into extreme southwestern Tarrant County and extreme northwestern Johnson counties here over the next 5 minutes. But again, this right here is pretty concerning. I'm going to be honest, I'm not entirely sure why the radar's not updating every, like, 2 or 3 minutes, but hopefully it updates faster. This is back over to John McKinney. He's currently located just to the west of Denton. This was a storm that is trying to ramp up. You can see a little hook shape on it. But yeah, right now the National Weather Service here at Fort Worth has it at all 14 tilts, which means it's picking up on all 14 tilts. It's basically scanning every part of the atmosphere, which is not necessary for an event like this. It should be scanning really every, like, it should only be scanning a few tilts, which is why it's taking 5 minutes to update the low-level radar. For those that are wondering.
Okay, yeah.
Did this person just say they were watching me? On John McKinney's stream? I don't know if I heard that right.
Where I was, didn't you?
They care for the $10 super chat?
Yeah, let's go.
Well, good luck. Be
Thank
safe.
you, thank you. My son is also a storm chaser, Freddie McKinney.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's way south, and he's gonna spend the night down there tonight.
This is Nick Gorman as well. He's coming up near this tornado warning storm. He's currently located near Willow Park, just to the west of Fort Worth. Hey, long term for the super chat, and also Michael for the $10 super chat. Always learn from your coverage about the weather. Thanks for your knowledge. No problem at all. So again, Nick Gorman is pretty close to this storm that is rotating just southwest of Fort Worth. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey, Max, I was just going to point this out to anyone who's watching Radar Omega. So we actually just started our next tilt of radar. But if you look at this feature down here on the bottom bar, this is what we're looking at right here, where it says 0.5 degrees. That means we're scanning at the tilt of 0.5 degrees. That has to go all the way up to 19.4. That's 14 different tilts that it has to scan before it goes back to 0.5. But whenever we see that 0.5, that is when we're getting the lowest level of reflectivity and velocity. So that's what we're looking for to update to actually see and know anything about what the storm's doing.
All right, thank you, Riley. Yeah, that is one key thing to point out. Again, it is going right now. The radar mode that the National Weather Service has us in is literally picking up on all 14 tilts, which again is not necessary. We really just need it on sales mode, which is only the first few tilts of the atmosphere, which is really what we need here. New radar scan has just come in. Latest velocity scan is showing extremely dangerous winds right now, heading towards Benbrook. I really wouldn't be surprised if we got a destructive severe thunderstorm warning for this. I mean, the velocities right now located north of Cresson are 95 miles per hour. We are talking about destructive winds heading in the direction of Lakeshore States, Plover, Benbrook, Forest Hill, and Rendon. So I do want to give you guys heads up. Again, if you're in Tarrant County, if you're in Dallas County, even Denton County or anywhere near McKinney, you know, make sure to bring any sort of loose line items in. If you got plants, bring those in. Again, we could see some really significant wind damage here, especially on the southwest side of DFW here over the next few minutes. There is still some broad rotation as well, located just south of Aledo. That'll be also coming up towards Benbrook here shortly. We also have a little bit of rotation developing near Morgan, Texas. Got a little hook right here going towards Blum and Hillsboro. So definitely not ruling out a tornado potential there. But yeah, this is pretty concerning right now. Looks like John McKinney might have some sort of little wall cloud. This is back over to the west of Denton. Look closely. We got some lightning. Look right there in the middle. There's something lower right there. This is just west of Denton, Texas. Rotation up here is very weak, but it has a little hook. At least some scud there. So maybe some scary looking clouds. It's hard to tell at nighttime here, but that's just to the west of Denton, Texas. He's located just outside of Crum. Just southwest of Crum. You can also watch John McKinney inside of the Radar Omega app with the top link in the description below. Another thing I just noticed on radar, just southwest of Benbrook near Godley. We got a little couplet there as well. So we may even have a brief tornado moving towards Burleson right now. Again, the radar's not updating frequently enough for us to really tell if this is dropped, but there is at least some rotation right now located over near Cresson, heading in the direction of Burleson. That is moving east-northeast at about approximately 30 to 35 miles per hour. So again, if you're back over here just to the southwest of Benbrook, we have extremely dangerous winds heading towards Benbrook and also going towards Fort Worth. The wind threat is as high as 90 miles per hour. I would expect that we'll see a destructive severe thunderstorm warning here at any moment heading towards Burleson. Is anybody currently located near Benbrook in the chat? Anybody near Benbrook or Lakeshore Estates? Our power outages, by the way, are possible with this line. How high these winds are. We're probably going to at least see some power outages. We'll have a new radar scan probably in about a minute. We just got an update. The severe thunderstorm warning for Glen, Rose, Somerville, and Boss counties is still for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Thank you, Shane, for becoming a member, and Michael for the $10 super chat. In Benbrook, we've lost power just a little bit. Appreciate the update. Back over to John McKinney. Still has some suspicious clouds here just west of Denton.
There we go. I'm gonna turn it down. There.
So this is just west of Denton, Texas, near Crum. This is also Nick Gorman. He's coming up near that area of high winds.
429 Beachport Winscott Road.
Just southwest of Fort Worth. Wow, look at that cloud of ground lightning there on the right. Jeez. Some big cloud of ground lightning right now. Got a new radar scan coming in right now. Back over to live radar. Look at the lightning in DeSoto. At the bottom left of your screen. That was crazy. All right, new radar scan. Again, unfortunately, I don't know what's going on. This radar really should not be updating every 5 minutes. They have it in the wrong mode still. This is not the time to have this radar updating every 5 minutes. Latest scan, not seeing any rotation now near Godley. We still have rotation right now located west of Benbrook. We have a large area of 70+ mile-per-hour winds now moving towards Benbrook, Texas. This is going to be coming up on Fort Worth here over the next few minutes. Again, not seeing any active tornadoes at this point, but again, we still have an area of rotation, a couple actually, just to the west of Benbrook. This is all near 1187 Road. It'll be tracking towards Forest Hill and Fort Worth over the next 10 to 15 minutes. Again, there is still a possibility for a tornado as this line continues to push to the east. Further down to the south, south of Cleburne, very broad rotation now going towards Blum and Hillsboro. And then back over to the west of Killeen, Texas, we got an intense line of thunderstorms that'll be moving towards Killeen and moving into Gatesville and Waco here over the next 15 to 20 minutes. This is a live shot currently from Killeen, Texas on one of the Radar Omega cyclone ports. And you can see it's pretty gusty out there. We got some gusty winds. Flags are moving quite a bit. A little bit of lightning as well to go along with that. So again, get ready if you're back over in Killeen for around 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. And all the storms back over in southwestern Texas, mostly just 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. No imminent tornado risk with those right now. Let's go back over to DFW. Will Plano be okay? I think Plano might see some severe weather here soon. Definitely not off the table. Looking at some of the terminal radar sites to see if we have any other localized areas of rotation. I'd be watching this up here, back over to the northwest of Fort Worth. We have a little bit of convection out in front of our line, but if this can all get a little bit more organized and this convection moves out of the way, we could even see this area of storm activity start to rotate going towards Irving. It's a bit more of a long-term risk, but it is something that after this rain kind of lifts to the north and merges into our line, we may see a little bit of a tornado risk try to develop there. There's still some very weak rotation west of Denton. Again, not very concerned about that right now, but just something to point out. Thank you, Sally, for becoming a maximum velocity member. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the Velocities. My son is at UNT in Denton. You guys should be fine up there. Just stay weather aware. Again, we got storms moving in there over the next 20 minutes. So something could always squeeze out here over the next 20 minutes or so. The Rice for the super chat has Weatherford looking for the rest of the night. Just a lot of rain. A lot of rainfall. I'm not expecting much in the way of a tornado risk, as the storms have already kind of passed you. Well, we'll have another radar scan, hopefully within the next minute or two. Again, we still have rotation right now, moving towards Benbrook, Texas, going towards Fort Worth and Arlington. Bedford is also going to be in the path of this. As a reminder, there is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for North Texas that goes until 12 o'clock tonight. This is pretty interesting. This is from Falcon Storm Chasing back over in Ponder, Texas. This is actually the storm that John McKinney is nearby right now. The reason why I'm showing you this is because he didn't note this, but there is a very low cloud base here. So if we were to start to get a little bit more low-level wind shear here, we could see a tornado with how low the clouds are. So pretty low cloud base here. Wouldn't be hard for a tornado to occur with this line as it continues to push to the east. It's also another good view. Actually, this is a video from Falcon Storm Chasing. He's on Twitter. You can check him out. This is another video just moments ago back over near Ponder. You can see the low clouds again right there in the middle. And a good amount of lightning here. If you guys have any photos or videos, you can have me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. You can also send it to us on Facebook at MaxVelocityWX. You can follow us on both of those pages. Thank you, Frisbee, for the $10 super chat. Gainesville, Texas, I'd be mostly concerned about the wind threat, but I think at this point, you guys are mostly looking at flooding. The severe weather is mostly moving out. I think it'll be mostly a flooding risk there. Thank you also, Ali, for the super chat. Also, Amy for becoming a member. Welcome to the Velocities. Let's go back over to John McKinney for the time being. We do have a new radar scan coming in right now, so we'll go to that in a second. This is John McKinney. He's now coming up into Denton again. He's actually moving eastbound, moving into Denton, Texas.
Okay,
Also, you might wonder why it's so bright over there to the right in the middle. That is
second.
because of all the light pollution in North Texas. A little fun fact. There's plenty of light pollution there. Hey, Sunflower from becoming a member. All right, we'll go back to him in a moment, but that's back over in Denton, Texas. New radar scan has just come in. Again, I'm pretty concerned right now about these storms that are just southwest of Fort Worth. Once again, we do have a big surge of wind that is moving into Benbrook right now. This is definitely over 60-mile-per-hour winds. I would expect, again, 70-plus-mile-per-hour winds to move right into Benbrook here over the next 5 to 10 minutes. But on top of that, we still have enough of a surge here and enough of an inflow for there to be a potential for a tornado. So keep a very close eye, again, on this area back over here near Burleson. I'm going to make it a little bit larger. It's going to be basically this area where our highest tornado threat is going to probably be for the next 30 minutes or so as this line continues to push east. So basically just north of Cleburne, back over in Burleson, going towards Dallas, Fort Worth as well will be in the path of this. Bottom left of your screen is a live shot in DeSoto, Texas, which is located right here. So we'll have a pretty good view of this line as it moves to the east. Thank you, Oasis, also for the super chat. Any updates for Arlington? Get ready for high winds and a low tornado risk. Biggest concern will be the damaging wind threat coming up into your area right now. Yeah, across the board, again, I'm mostly concerned about the line moving into Fort Worth. They have just gone ahead and upgraded the severe thunderstorm warning for Dallas-Fort Worth, including Johnson, Tarrant, and Hill counties. It's this massive warning here that is upgraded to 65-mile-per-hour winds. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, looking at this area south of Benbrook, just like you were, one thing I want to point out is our radar times are actually desynced. This is at 8:41 p.m. and 56 seconds over here on the reflectivity side, and this is 8:42 and 14 seconds on the velocity side. So that's why we have a little bit of a difference in placement if you put these side by side, but this is what it's going to look like as a new inflow notch tries to form right here. Keep an eye mostly on velocities. We're looking for the placement of where this tornado would be. That is what's updating later as of right now. So that's why this is further off to the east, but that is where a tornado would form.
Thank you, Riley, for the update. So yeah, that is a good thing to point out here. Again, the radars are a little desynced right now. But once again, we do have a legit threat again for an isolated spin up tornado or two. We may have already had a couple of tornadoes once again back off to the west of Fort Worth. But once again, the radar is only updating every 5 minutes right now, which is pretty frustrating because we cannot really give you an idea of within a minute or two of what's actually happening on radar. So that's mainly because of the National Weather Service putting the radar into a different mode. It's going through 14 tilts instead of 4. So it's basically scanning the entire atmosphere when it basically doesn't have to. So that is the reason why we currently are only getting radar scans again every 5 minutes or so. Thank you, Lori, for the $20 super chat. Also, thank you, Dank for the $5 super chat, and Garrett for the super chat. Denison, Texas, the biggest concern will be flooding. I think the risk of severe weather is not super high. We are starting to see a little bit more organization into a little bit of a cluster now, just to the west of Sherman. Biggest concern would be damaging winds if that were to become severe. Thank you, Nate, for becoming a member, and also Bren for the super chat. Lake Worth. Where is Lake Worth? Right here. I think the biggest concern will be 60-mile-per-hour winds, which is going to be moving through over the next few minutes. Do we have a location on Nick right now? All right, we do. All right, so Nick Gorman, his location just updated. He's currently located in Fort Worth. He's on the west side of Fort Worth. This is a live shot from him. He's currently pulled over, but this is right on the west side of Fort Worth near White Settlement. So we should at least see some 60-mile-per-hour winds here. The worst of the winds will just be down to a south, and that is also where the tornado risk is. But it might be positioned south. I don't really know for sure. But this is just outside of Fort Worth here in White Settlement, which is right next to I-20 near Benbrook. This is basically what we're about to see is going to be probably some of the worst winds for the White Settlement area. Also, we do have a new radar scan coming in right now, so we'll have that in just a moment. Hey, Toxic, for the $20 super chat. Just thank you for always easing my anxiety. Appreciate that. I'm glad I can help. Thank you also, Zach, for the $10 super chat. Yes, North Lake and as well as Argyle. You guys will be seeing storms here in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Nothing severe, though, right now. All right, latest scan just came in. And again, we still have some strong rotation. We are actually starting to see multiple areas of rotation, all up and down near Benbrook. There's a little couplet just south of Benbrook, and then we have another area of rotation just to the south of that, and another little one near Primrose. So, I mean, legitimately, any of these could try to produce a tornado here, and it might be a brief one, but a tornado is a tornado. So, again, if you're anywhere in this area, back over near Forest Hill, Benbrook, I would still be seeking shelter. At the bare minimum, we have damaging winds up to 80 miles per hour as a possibility with this line as it continues to push to the east. Velocities on radar are currently measuring upwards of 80-mile-per-hour winds still. So very intense line of thunderstorms moving through the south side of Fort Worth. A little bit further to the north, we also have a little area of higher winds northwest of White Settlement. So a little bit of a damaging wind threat increasing there, heading towards Bedford. Then back up in Denton, Texas, we do not have anything right now in the way of severe weather, but gusty winds and plenty of lightning are coming. We also have a flood report coming out of Decatur, Texas. Emergency Management is reporting a water rescue completed near Prescott Road and FM 51. So we already have at least one water rescue tonight. We also have another area of rotation southwest of Burleson. So that's something else to watch for. It's not very strong, but there's another little bit of rotation there. We basically have 4 areas of rotation. 3 of them are just in the same area. Thank you, Monkey, for becoming a member. And back over to the west of Colleen, Texas, the severe thunderstorm warning for Lampasas will expire in 10 minutes. Not seeing anything again in the way of tornadoes right now for the Killeen area. But if you are in Killeen, Gatesville, Temple, or Waco, get ready for at least gusty winds. There is a possibility for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour as that line moves east with a low tornado potential. Thank you, Caden, for the super chat. What's going on in Gatesville? Gatesville will be mainly a wind threat. Not expecting much in the way of tornadoes there. All right, we'll have another radar scan in hopefully a moment. But again, definitely getting a little bit more concerning here on the south side of DFW. This is a live shot from Nick Gorman. He's currently storm chasing here in Fort Worth. This is located in the White Settlement area. So this is just to the west of Fort Worth. This is not far from where that area of rotation is. Thank you, Zeph, for becoming a member. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey, Max, may potentially have a tornado here just south of Benbrook. It's very, very small if it is one. However, there is an area where there is a potential CC drop. There is reflectivity there, and we also have a correlated ZDR drop. This is just on the leading edge of the storm, and this looks like what could potentially be a inflow jet and a little couplet here. So I'm going to err on the side of caution and say this is a tornado on the ground south of Benbrook heading off to the east.
Alrighty, thank you, Riley, for the update. So there may be a tornado right now in progress. Again, it is not likely going to be on the ground for very long because of the nature of these storms, but there could be a tornado, again, embedded in this cluster right now near Benbrook that is heading in the direction of Arlington, just south of Arlington, also just north of Burleson, going towards Rendon and Mansfield. And also just kind of tracking basically parallel to I-20 here. So again, if you are in the southern parts of Tarrant County here, I would be seeking shelter. There could be, again, a tornado in progress moving to the east. We do not know that for sure, but we think there is one. The radar, unfortunately, is not updating very fast. It's only updating every 5 minutes. There's nothing I can do about that. That is just the National Weather Service radar is only updating that fast. With all that said, though, we have enough evidence here that there's probably at least some sort of tornadic activity here, whether there is a wall cloud or even possibly a tornado. Again, there may be a small CC drop here back over near Primrose, and that is currently tracking to Moseley. We'll have another radar scan within the next 30 seconds, but unfortunately, it's only updating every 5 minutes here. Thank you, Kelly, on for the $10 super chat. I don't expect much of a tornado threat near Durant. All right, new radar scan just came in. We'll check it out here. Thank you also, Tom, for the $20 super chat. Appreciate the generosity. How does San Antonio tornado outlook after midnight? I think it'll be mainly a wind threat. The tornado risk down there should be pretty low. New considerable severe thunderstorm warning for Kinney, Edwards, and Valverde counties in Texas. That is very far southwestern Texas. Riley has an update. Go ahead.
On radar, the velocity is a little bit tighter as well, and the hook is, I think that is debris fallout on radar now, just to the southeast of Benbrook. The hook looks even bigger. Velocities are not that tight, but still there. CC drop is a little bit more intense. Probably a tornado on the ground for 2 radar scans now. With the motion it's taking, it actually does have a chance to stick around for a little bit longer. And unfortunately, if it does manage to stick around, we are looking at this going right through the center of Fort Worth, Texas.
Thank you, Riley, for the update. Yeah, we need a tornado warning south of Fort Worth. There's rotation. It's pretty strong right now near Edge Cliff. This has been an evolving situation here for a while, and I think we need a tornado warning. Yeah, we got a hook echo and a pretty strong inflow, and it looks like at least some sort of debris fallout there just to the west of Edge Cliff from our initial tornado. So once again, seek shelter here. I'm just out there on the side of caution. All right, I'm saying this because I do truly think there is a legit threat right now of a tornado going through Edgecliff Village and then going towards Forest Hill. But again, rotation's definitely intensified quite a bit. And at the bare minimum, we are talking about very strong winds going through Primrose, Moseley, and Edgecliff Village here over the next 5 minutes. Unfortunately, again, the radar is not updating very frequently, but we do think there's a legit threat right now of a tornado heading towards Forest Hill in Arlington. So, seek shelter. Again, southern side here, Tarrant County. Hopefully we get some sort of tornado warning, or at the bare minimum, a tornado possible here, but this looks pretty close to imminent. That's pretty strong rotation, though. And this is a very populated area. We are talking about well over 1 million people that are in Tarrant County, and this is one of the more populated parts of Tarrant County here. Thank you, Abby, for the super chat. This is a live shot right now from Nick Gorman. He is currently near where this tornado would be. We cannot see almost anything right now. The visibility is very low. He is also in low connection, but the winds are really ramping up here. This is on the south side of Fort Worth, near where the strongest rotation is.
Very frequently, but we do think there's a legit threat right now of a tornado heading towards.
Also has my stream on. This is currently located on the south side of Fort Worth.
Southern side here, Tarrant County. Hopefully, we get some sort of tornado warning or bare minimum of tornado possible here.
But yeah, once again, there needs, in my opinion, at the bare minimum, we should have our radar updating way faster. This is very frustrating. Hey, Matthew, for the super chat. But once again, if you are in Edgecliff Village, if you're in Forest Hill near Arlington, you guys should be going to your safe place in case a tornado does drop here. I really do not understand how we don't have a tornado warning here. By the way, Riley also agrees we should have a tornado warning. There should be a tornado warning for this storm, just south of Fort Worth. I mean, there just needs to be one here. And we have a very strong area of convergence that's now going to be probably over Edgecliff Village here. And then going to Forest Hill. Unfortunately, radar, again, is not updating very frequently, but we have enough reason to believe that is the case here. Winds are picking up where Nick Gorman is. This is what we're looking at right now on the south side of Fort Worth. If you have any friends or family in the Fort Worth area in Tarrant County, please get the word out there. Again, there could be a tornado going towards Forest Hill. We don't know that for sure, but there could be one. Or one could drop at any time with how strong the velocities are. Our next radar scan will be within the next 30 seconds. It is coming in, I think, as we speak. This is very frustrating. We have such a highly populated area and the radar is only updating every 5 minutes. Here comes the radar scan. See what it looks like. But again, this is a very concerning situation again for the Fort Worth area. Is there a large tornado? This is the latest scan. They have... Is that a warning? Nope. We have a debris signature. So there is a tornado in progress right now. There is a tornado down. We have a hook echo and a tornado down south of Fort Worth. There is no tornado warning on this, and this includes almost 1 million people. If you are near Forest Hill, you need to seek shelter. We got a hook echo. There is a little debris signature right now over Edgecliff Village. There is very strong rotation going towards Forest Hill. If you are in this area near Forest Hill, Kennedale, Arlington, Dalworthington Gardens, Hanley, any of these areas, you guys got to seek shelter. I don't know how there's no tornado warning on this, but this is a very concerning storm right now that is likely producing a tornado. We got a very defined hook echo as well. Strong inflow going to the storm, going right towards Forest Hill. Again, you got to get the word out there. If you have any friends or family here, there's no warning on this right now. Again, very populated area. At the bare minimum, we have very high winds going all around each other. It's very strong rotation at the bare minimum, but again, I would be treating this as if there is a tornado on the ground near Edgecliff Village, near I-20, heading into Forest Hill. This is near I-35 westbound as well. It'll be crossing that area over the next minute or two, and then going towards Arlington, and then long term it's going towards Dallas. But I mean, again, the velocities are very strong right now on I-20. There's no words. I don't know how this isn't warned still. We've been talking about this for well over 20-25 minutes now. There's been plenty of signs of even 90-mile-per-hour winds happening with the storm earlier, and there was no upgrade to a warning there either. So there should be a tornado warning here. Again, I don't know how there isn't one, but very strong rotation right now over I-20. Likely tornado going right up into a very populated area. That is Forest Hill, 287. Back over near Vaughn Boulevard, Mitchell Boulevard on the south side of Fort Worth. This is going to be impacting the southeast side of Fort Worth here over the next few minutes. Get the word out there. Again, share the stream. Whatever you got to do to get people aware of this. I don't care if you don't share the stream. Just call them. Text any friends or family that are near Forest Hill, Fort Worth, Arlington, near Mansfield, Rendon. Get the word out there. I'd be seeking shelter no matter what in this warning because we at least have damaging winds, but the threat of a tornado is definitely there right now. This is, again, a very concerning situation. The radar is only updating every 5 minutes, and we also likely have a tornado again in progress right now near Forest Hill, Texas. Right over I-20. Again, get the word out there. If you have any friends or family here, we do believe there's, again, an unwarned tornado currently going through the south side of Fort Worth. Our next radar scan is another minute or two away, so we really don't even know. Apparently, there are tornado sirens going off in Forest Hill. There are no tornado warnings once again, but this is, again, we do think a tornado. I mean, in any given day, this is a tornado-warned storm. It doesn't matter where it is. I mean, this is literally a given for a tornado warning. I don't know how it's not at least tornado-warned, but again, this is just very populated. I'll have another radar scan in a moment. I'm going to draw a polygon just so you guys got an idea of where you should be seeking shelter. All right, any of this area. All right, I'd be in your safe place right now. If you're further south or north, I would, you know, as a precaution, if you're tuning in, I would just get to your safe place, get to a storm shelter, basement, closet, bathroom, whatever that might be. You know, treat this as if there is a tornado warning for your area, just because we have high winds in the area. But this is the corridor where the highest velocities are, and also where there could be a tornado right now. Again, the radar, unfortunately, is only updating every 5 minutes at a crucial time here. The latest radar scan is currently coming in as we speak. We'll see what the velocities look like. The terminal radar site, this needs to be tornado warned. I mean, the terminal radar site is showing a very tight area of rotation. That right there, again, would likely be the tornado. It's just south of Fort Worth. And that is a tornado. Guys, we have a tornado on the ground. I am changing our overlay to tornado on the ground. This needs to be tornado warned. There is clearly a tornado in progress right now on the south side of Fort Worth. This is right now in a very populated area near I-35 West, just south of I-30. It is moving towards Ederville, Hanley, just south of Haltom City. There needs to be a tornado warning. We have a tornado in progress. This is 100% a tornado in progress on the south side of Fort Worth. This could be we don't know the intensity of the tornado, but this is at the bare minimum a tornado in progress. If you are in Fort Worth, you need to seek shelter. If you're in Arlington, you need to seek shelter. If you're in Forest Hill, you should be seeking shelter. I don't know how there's no tornado warning on this. We've been talking about this for 25 minutes now. There is clearly a tornado on the ground, and I mean, this is a populated area. Again, I-35, this is going to be crossing over it here over the next minute or two. This is a tornado on the ground right now. We have a clear hook echo. Velocities are strong. There is a tornado right now in progress, and God knows how long this tornado's been on the ground. It might have been on the ground 5 minutes ago. We don't know. It's going right now. The debris signature is over Berry Street, Binnenson Street. It's going to be approaching Glen Gardner and Berry Street. All right, so all those areas are probably being hit by this right now. But again, this is broad daylight. I don't know how we don't have a tornado warning. This is, I don't know if another office has to jump in or something, but like, I mean, this is so populated. There is literally a tornado on the ground for over 1 million people are in this area, in this county, just a specific county. Tarrant County has over 1 million people. This is unbelievable. This is the terminal radar site, by the way. The terminal radar site shows a very intense area of rotation as well, right over the south side of Fort Worth. There's no difference between any of these radar sites. It's not just like a little glitch in the radar. This is a tornado that is on the ground going towards Arlington, Texas. Again, spread the word. If you got any friends or family in Tarrant County, or really anywhere in North Texas, please get the word out there. Again, there's a tornado on the ground. We still have no tornado warning. It's clear as day. We got a hook echo. I don't know how else to explain it. But again, there are over 2 million people, I'm pretty sure, in Tarrant County, if I'm not mistaken. I think the bulk of the people here are in Tarrant County. This is Nick Gorman right now, who is driving through some of the worst of it right now into the Fort Worth area. The winds are very strong. I mean, we have 70+ mile per hour winds here. The warning is still for 65. There is evidently a tornado in progress again on the south side of Fort Worth. But look how strong the winds are here. This is in some of the RFD, just kind of the outskirts of this. This is an extremely dangerous situation again for the Fort Worth area. You need to be in your safe place. We have an unwarned tornado still that is on the south side of Fort Worth. This is again unbelievable. We still have a tornado in progress on the south side of Fort Worth. There's no other way to communicate this at this point, but again, if you have friends, if you have family anywhere in the Fort Worth area near Arlington, please make sure that they are getting to their safe place, getting away from windows and getting on the lowest floor possible. We still have no tornado warning for the Fort Worth area. We've been talking about this tornado for over 20 minutes now, at least being potentially producing a tornado. I mean, we've probably been talking about it for 30 now, and there is still no tornado warning on it. But the only evidence that we have now of the tornado is the debris signature, which is clear again on the south side of Fort Worth. That right there is a tornado as of about 4 minutes ago. The tornado now is near Handley. We'll have another radar scan hopefully in the next 30 seconds. But again, very concerning situation. Nick Gorman, bottom right of your screen, is near where the tornado is. We're keeping a very close eye on him. What we're actually probably going to do is switch... Oh, we'll switch them in a second. Here's the latest radar scan. We finally got another one, but I mean, again, there's still no tornado warning here. The latest radar scan still showing a broad area. This is not nearly as strong, but there is still a pretty decent area of rotation right now over the southeast side of Fort Worth. Not seeing a clear debris signature on this latest scan, but notice how our hook echo is still very large. So that tornado, if it is still on the ground, it'll be on the southeast side of Fort Worth. We're waiting for the velocities to fully update here. But this right here would be where the tornado is located. It would be on the southeast side of Fort Worth, approaching Ederville, Texas, and eventually going towards Hurst, and also going in the direction of Bedford, Euless, Arlington. You guys are all in the path of that right now. And I do apologize, we've not been talking about other storms, but this is obviously the most concerning one since we still have no warning on it. Again, it did produce a tornado already. It's been unwarned this entire time. This is, again, another live shot inside of this storm that is not tornado warned, but you see how high the winds are right now. This is Nick Gorman storm chasing here, back over in Fort Worth. The winds are very high here. By the way, there's not even a tornado. Brant Kopic just pointed this out. There's not even a tornado possible label on this. And again, I don't know what's going on there at the National Weather Service, but unfortunately, there's not really any other way to say it. There's obviously a tornado that we just had on the ground. There could be another one. But very strong rotation right now approaching Arlington. I do also want to point out we've had no update to any of the warnings in North Texas in 23 minutes. So I'm not sure if there's an outage or something like that, but you would think that another National Weather Service office would get involved in this. There's, again, absolutely no warning on this still for the Fort Worth area. We got a tornado possibly heading into Ederville, Arlington, Bedford, and Irving here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So again, if you're in Arlington, Texas, if you're in Bedford, you need to be in your safe place. If you're back over in Dallas, Irving, Carrollton, Garland, Mesquite, any of those areas, I would be getting ready to go to your safe place right now, all right? This is, again, a tornado that is unwarned on the ground on the southeast side of Fort Worth. And it is going to be approaching Arlington here in the next 5 minutes. We have damaging winds currently heading right through Fort Worth as well. I do not know how it's been over 10 minutes since we've had a clear, evident tornado and we still have no warning. I have never been so frustrated. The last time I ever got this frustrated was back when we had a tornado in Nebraska, back over in far western Nebraska. It was north of North Platte. It really was in a pretty rural area, but we had an unwarned significant tornado on the ground for 10 minutes, and then it finally got warned. This one has been unwarned for over 10 minutes, and it is in a highly populated area. Again, there are 2 million people here, and the tornado, again, would be located on the southeast side of Fort Worth. Unbelievable. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, as of 2 minutes ago, it looks like we did get an update to that severe thunderstorm warning from the National Weather Service. I believe it was a different National Weather Service office that did go ahead and issue that warning. So I don't know if there's some sort of communication issue from Fort Worth, but that tornado or the severe thunderstorm warning was upgraded by another National Weather Service office, I believe, and they did not issue a tornado possible tag for this warning. So we're not going to get a tornado warning. We're going to need to spread the word ourselves that there's potentially a tornado on the ground because that warning was just updated and there's still no tornado possible tag.
Hey Riley for the update. This is unbelievable. We still have I don't even know how the severe warning got updated, and like we do not have a tornado warning. I don't get it. Once again, if you're just tuning in, I have the confirmed tornado tag on, and the reason why is because we have an unwarned tornado. I have never done this before. We have an unwarned tornado, and I put this thing on. But like, we've had a tornado on the ground for several minutes now. It started back down here near Edgecliff Village. It may be in Fort Worth now. We just got a new radar scan. If there is a tornado, it would be on the east side of Fort Worth. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, it is once again on the ground. There's another CC drop. It is just to the northeast of where it says Fort Worth on the map. Very small. You can see that the velocity clearly comes together. This is another unwarned tornado on the ground in an area with over 1 million people. So don't really know what to say at this point. Another unwarned tornado.
Thank you, Riley, for the update. So now there's a small, this is not likely strong, but there is a tornado in progress on the east side of Fort Worth. This is kind of occluding north in a way, so it's going to probably move towards Haltom City. So if you're in Haltom City, you should be in your safe place, just south of Melody Hills. So those are areas that should be in their safe places right now, just southwest of North Richland Hills. So again, once again, there is a tornado, another one in progress. This is unwarned on the east side of Fort Worth. It's basically in Fort Worth right now. It is barely moving to the north right now. It's going to be crossing over 121 in the next 30 seconds or so, just to the west of Arlington. Again, this is just unbelievable, but again, we have a tornado, another one in progress, just east here of Fort Worth. Just outside of Haltom City. I'm hearing a lot of reports in chat that tornado sirens are going off. I do want to reiterate, I used to live in North Texas, so I know this. In North Texas, tornado sirens will go off for basically any severe warning. It does not matter if there's a tornado warning or not. So those are going to go off no matter what, pretty much with a severe warning. That's just how they have them work in North Texas, at least in most areas. I know Denton was like that. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, you should seek shelter if you're hearing tornado sirens, because in this case, I would 100% be in your safe place anywhere in Tarrant County. I'd say right now, the only places that are fine are going to be west of this line. So if you're back over near Benbrook, you guys are basically fine right now. But Fort Worth and Arlington, you guys need to be in your safe place. You can see the terminal radar site. It's been picking up pretty well in this large mesocyclone, large area of rotation. And we've now had at least a couple of tornadoes come out of this. And we still have one, again, right now over downtown Fort Worth. And the tornado itself, once again, is going to be right here near 121. This radar scan is 3 minutes old, so this was 3 minutes ago. The tornado is going to be probably moving into Haltom City, North Richland Hills. I'd be seeking shelter as well. I'm going to be honest, if you're really anywhere in this area, I'd be seeking shelter because we have no tornado warning. We've had no warnings on this at all. But again, there could be some sort of outage that we just don't know of, but obviously we really need some sort of warning on this. This has been going for too long, for 2 million people being in this area. Again, this is just overly populated. All right, we do have a new radar scan coming in. This is the latest scan. I'm not seeing nearly as much of strong rotation. If we still have a tornado, it would be right here near Haltom City. We'll wait for the CC radar to update. And I'm not seeing anything on the CC radar. But again, if there is a tornado, it would be near Haltom City. It is a broader area of rotation. Notice how we are starting to see this all bow out. So what we're now seeing is this entire line starting to bow out. It's kind of pushing a ton of wind right now towards Arlington and Bedford. We could get a tornado that kind of wraps around this on the north side still, but this is all now bowing. We got a bowing segment. So damaging winds upwards of 70 to even 80 miles per hour will be a possibility as this moves into Arlington over the next few minutes, and also eventually going towards Carrollton, Irving, and Garland. This is a live shot right now in Fort Worth. This is one of the virtual railfan cameras. And visibility is almost zero right now. Winds have been pretty strong here for the last several minutes. According to reports, and I'm reading the chat, I'm not sure if this is accurate, but according to reports, National Weather Service of Norman is trying to get a hold of the Fort Worth National Weather Services and not able to get into contact with them. So that is possibly something that is ongoing right now. Apparently downtown Fort Worth is dark as well, which means we probably just had a tornado there. Is anybody currently tuning in from Fort Worth? Anybody have any reports? Hey, Evan for the super chat. So again, there are reports at least right now that we are starting to see, at least one report that it's basically dark right now in Fort Worth. Again, if we have a tornado still, it'll be near Haltom City. The rotation's not as strong as before. If you go back a few radar scans, I mean, we clearly had a tornado. This is as clear as day. We had a hook echo and everything. And a CC drop to go along with that. Nothing has been said on the local news. Yeah, I mean, the local news doesn't always go live for severe warnings. We don't have a tornado warning, so could be why. Thank you, Beverly, for the $10 super chat. Fort Worth is bad, is according to report. We do have Storm Chaser John McKinney heading down towards Dallas right now. He's on the Radar Omega app as well. Nick Gorman is also right now in the middle of this storm here in Fort Worth. That's what it looks like right now in Fort Worth. You also Skylar for the Venmo donation saying you saved us from the unborn tornado in our neighborhood. Well, I can help. I don't. Yeah, it's just so frustrating that we've had no tornado warning on this. It looks like we're starting to see some minor flooding on the roadways here. This is in the Fort Worth area. You're starting to see some flooding.
Use the left 2 lanes to take exit 442.
We have a new radar scan coming in right now.
Diana 820 north for US 287 north.
All right, here's the latest radar scan as the conditions are treacherous right now in Fort Worth. This is the latest scan. We still have a broad area of rotation right now over Haltom City. You can see, again, a large Boeing segment is currently developing near Arlington, so damaging winds becoming a big concern right now. Heading in the direction of Dallas. Once again, the rotation itself has not been as strong over the last few scans, but we could still see another tornado drop out of this as this line continues to move to the northeast. If we go back over to the terminal radar site, you can also see a large, broad area of rotation right now. This is all rotation. It's just a broad and large area that is located over Hanley, Ederville, as well as Hearst, North Richland Hills, and Haltom City. So we can still get tornadoes embedded in this large area of circulation. This is all moving towards Bedford, Euless, Tarrant, Still, and eventually going towards Irving and Highland. So there is just a large area of rotation right now. I don't see a tornado in progress at this exact time, but keep in mind that this is something that has already produced a couple of tornadoes, and we could see another one drop as this continues to move to the northeast. Again, going towards Euless and Bedford, more populated areas are in the path of this. Again, John McKinney is a storm chaser. He will be coming up on this pretty soon. This is basically going right towards them. But if you simulate the radar here, you can kind of see the direction all that rotation's going. It's basically going northeast. So this might kind of go more towards Carrollton and Irving rather than going towards Dallas. Another thing I want to point out too is once this line up here pushes into that area of rotation, we could see some funky storm interactions happen, and that could end up spitting out some sort of tornado back up here near Carrollton anyway. So multiple things that we need to be watching for as this continues to move to the northeast. But as of right now, there's no longer a tornado confirmed. I'm going to take off the confirmed tornado thing because, again, we've had no warnings this entire time when it comes to tornado warnings, but I'll take that off for now. There is still a threat of an active tornado threat here heading up towards Bedford and Euless. You should still be in your safe place. Again, that area of rotation is going to be mostly heading up in this direction over the next several minutes. That does not mean if you're in Dallas, you can go party and play video games, all right? You should still be staying weather aware because right now we have a line of storms that is pushing into western Dallas County, and the winds are pretty strong here. I don't see anything imminent for a tornado, but we could see a QLCS tornado spin up with this as it pushes in the direction of Dallas, DeSoto, and Lancaster. So those are areas that we're going to be keeping a very close eye on as this line continues to push to the east. All right. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, it sounds like there's at least 10,000 individuals without power in Fort Worth. That is just the first of the reports that are starting to come in. We do not know if this was a tornado or just associated with the winds, but nonetheless, there is damage in Fort Worth from something.
Thank you, Riley, for the update. So we're at least getting power outage reports as of right now. Again, if anybody has any sort of reports of damage, anything else, again, you can at me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX or on Facebook. You could also message us if you're on the North Texas Weather Center page on Facebook. You can also message me there. But at the bare minimum, once again, there was, we think, a tornado on the ground for at least a few minutes there just south of Fort Worth. As of right now, what we're looking at is just a broad area of rotation going up towards Bedford and Carrollton, and a very intense line of thunderstorms pushing across much of North Texas at this hour. Flash flood warnings are in effect across western and far northern North Texas, where heavy rainfall continues, and then back over in far western DFW for Denton and Fort Worth. We have lots of rain falling now. We'll probably see flash flood warnings here issued within the next hour or so. Also, the latest radar scan for the North Richland Hills area, still a broad area of rotation that is now coming up towards Colleyville, Bedford, and Euless. Again, no active tornado in progress at this exact moment, but that could change at any time. Further down to the south, back over near Cedar Hill and DeSoto, it's mainly a wind threat right now that's pushing towards Dallas. Hey, stars for the super chat. This is heading right towards the DFW airport between Eulers and Irving. Yeah, that's also true. This is actually the radar site back over at DFW airport. And so that area of rotation is heading up towards the DFW airport. So if you have any plans of flying out within the next hour, which it's kind of late to take a flight, but if you are taking a flight within the next hour, delays are definitely possible because of the wind and just in general, the severe weather threat right now heading up to the northeast. Getting a lot of reports, at least from people, that there are continuing tornado sirens here in the DFW area. That is a continuing message that I continue to see. Again, a lot of people are talking about how the tornado sirens are continuing to go off. Again, that's very common for North Texas. It almost happens anytime we have any sort of severe weather. They have issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for Tarrant and Dallas counties for 65-mile-per-hour winds. This was issued by the National Weather Service at Fort Worth. No tornado warning again has been issued at any point tonight for at least the DFW area, even though we fully believe there was a tornado on the ground for a few minutes just south of Fort Worth. But they have issued a new warning. No tornado possible label. Carrollton, Garland, Irving, Dallas, just west of Mesquite. This is moving east-northeast at about 50 miles per hour. Also, another thing I want to point out, we've had a very small little bulge coming out of this line back over near Britton and Cedar Hill. Not seeing an imminent tornado concern, but just something we'll keep an eye out for on the southern side here of Dallas County. Wouldn't rule out a possibility for a brief spin up as this line continues to push to the east. Hey, Alejandro for the super chat. Can you check Denton for rotation? I don't see really any rotation up here. The line of storms up here is pretty disorganized. If anything, it's just some gusty winds. There's not really a whole lot of organization with those storms up near Denton County right now. It's insane right now. The conditions out there in DFW are definitely not ideal. We are still talking about significant damaging winds, heavy rainfall, lots of lightning. I mean, this is pretty typical type of severe weather. Keep in mind that we are now entering the second severe weather season for North Texas. And so this is, much more common this time of the year to see severe weather in October, November, and December. So this is kind of the kickoff, I guess, to what we're going to see over the next few months. Just back over to Nick Gorman. He's currently located in the east side now of Fort Worth. Hey, Aspen for the super chat. Well, it looks like in Fort Worth right now. This is also John McKinney. He is now just pulled over back over near Carrollton, Texas. So he's kind of awaiting this area of rotation to come up towards him because that's where it's heading right now. John McKinney's also live on the Radar Omega app, which you can download with the top link in the description below. He's also live on YouTube. Hey, Julie, for becoming a member. We've seen a decent amount of lightning in that area here over the last little bit. Also, we're going to get Glen Heights, which is back over in DeSoto, Texas, back on the bottom left of your screen. We're going to replace that with the Fort Worth camera, as that is going to have a pretty good view of our storms coming in here over the next several minutes. So that should pop up in a moment. New radar scan just came in. This line of storm is getting pretty funky. Again, it is all bowing out right now, heading towards Dallas and Irving. But if you look at the back end of this, we do have still some broad rotation located near Bedford. It is a very messy area. Lots of lightning as well, so very electrified storms here. This is all rotating still, heading up towards Carrollton and the Flower Mound area. It is not strong rotation, but you can still see the reds and greens. They're all kind of mixing together still. Some broad rotation is making its way up into Bedford, Euless, and Colleyville. So if you see the winds change directions, don't be caught off guard, because we will have winds at some times coming out of the northeast and at other times coming out of the southwest. So this is still a concern right now. Also heading up in the direction of Carrollton, but right now, again, broad rotation currently tracking to the northeast at this time. This is exactly what we just had earlier that did produce the tornado south of Fort Worth. But it almost looks like a little hurricane kind of spinning here. Big mesocyclone there near North Richland Hills. I do think here pretty soon it's going to run out of time to produce a tornado, as this other line is going to push into that little area of rotation, but it at least has about 10 to 15 minutes. Also, the Glen Heights camera has just gone down. I don't know what just happened to it. Oh, now it's going back up. All right. This is a live shot from Glen Heights. This is in DeSoto, Texas. They're actually moving around the camera. This is on the Radar Omega app. It's one of the Radar Omega cyclone ports here, just south of Dallas. Oh, we do have a report coming out from... This is from Burnett Plaza area of Fort Worth. This is sent in by Scott on Twitter. Major power outage. You're not going to really see anything because there's a major power outage. But you can't even see any lights on. You can just barely see a little lightning flash. So that was back over in Burnett Plaza of Fort Worth. Sounds like there is a big power outage there. Hey, Todd, for the $20 super chat. Clone Max 1,000 times makes Max Army run the National Weather Service. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you, Aspen, for the $5 super chat. Plano, Texas. I'd be ready for damaging winds. There's a low tornado risk, so continue to stay awake. I mean, just stay alert. I wouldn't go to bed quite yet. I mean, we still got at least about 45 minutes until this is knocking on your doorstep, which is the main area of rotation. It's kind of moving the direction right now. Plano, Carrollton, and Flower Mound. Thank you, CF, for the $5 super chat. Gainesville, Texas, mainly going to be rain. Flooding threat is the main concern. Some gusty winds. Not expecting much severe weather at this point. Thank you, Glenn, also for the $10 super chat, saying great job. Appreciate that. All right, latest radar scan. Not seeing much at all anymore. I mean, I'm not seeing a whole lot of strong rotation. It's still rotating, but not strong. I'm not seeing anything imminent. But again, I still cannot believe that went unwarned. It does not. I've not ever really seen that happen in North Texas. This is the rare place that I've never seen that happen. So. I've covered this region for 7 years now consistently, so... Hey, Evan, for the $5 super chat. What about Louisville? Louisville will be mainly a wind threat. All right, I got a report coming from Becca Furnish. They posted her friend lives in Fort Worth. Their roof was ripped off their home, but they are okay. So there is another report. Again, reports do not instantly come in a lot of the time when it comes to tornadoes and stuff, unless there's like a lot of chasers on the scene or we have like first responders there immediately. But we are starting to gradually get some more reports. This is insane, by the way. This is live in Fort Worth, just east of Fort Worth. This is Nick Gorman. We got people under the overpass, which again, shame. You're not supposed to be doing that. That is actually very dangerous. Never park under an overpass, but look how high the winds are and how gusty it is outside. This is crazy. And we have lost signal with Nick, but yeah, this is quite... It's coming back a little bit. This is just insane conditions right now for the east side of Fort Worth, just west of Dallas. Insane conditions right now here in the east side of DFW. And if you're over in Dallas, Irving, or Carrollton, this is coming right towards you. It's going to look a little bit like this. Thank you, Abby and Brandon, for the super chats. And Shelby for the 15-month membership. One little thing I want to point out is that right in between everything, near Bedford, Colleyville, North Richland Hills, and east of Fort Worth, we have a large area of just broad spin right now. There's nothing that intense here. However, we could still see a weak, brief tornado kind of spin up over the next 5 to 10 minutes in this area near Hearst, Bedford, and Hanley. So do not fully rule out a tornado still in this area. It's not very high, but we have in cases seen these little tornadoes kind of happen on the back edges of lines of thunderstorms. And so that's something that we're keeping an eye on right now. I think the radar's updating more frequently now. Yeah, radar's updating a little bit more frequently than before. This is updating every like 3 to 4 minutes. Bit of an improvement before compared to before. Thank you, Avery, for the super chat. Is Bedford safe? You guys are not safe yet. Continue to stay in your safe place. Velocities haven't updated. We'll go back to that in a second. Let's back over to Nick. Nick Gorman's location hasn't updating, but we do believe he's in Arlington right now. So this is what it looks like in Arlington. Thank you, Cinnamon, for the super chat. Also Tony for the super chat. We talk about Houston. Houston is not a risk of anything for quite a while. I mean, we're talking about morning risk, and it'll be mainly a wind threat, isolated tornado threat tomorrow morning. This is pretty crazy. I mean, we're talking 70, 80 mile per hour winds right now here near Arlington. This is a huge surge of winds. Visibility is down to about a half a mile or so. Also, Billy for the super chat. Hail updates for Dallas. I'm not expecting a whole lot of hail. I think it'll be mainly, again, a wind threat, isolated tornado threat. All right, we just got a new radar scan back over here in the DFW area. The latest scan still showing a large, broad area of rotation. Again, not seeing anything imminent for a tornado. High winds currently pushing into Dallas, Irving, going towards Carrollton, Garland, and Mesquite. We do have storm chaser John McKinney, bottom middle of your screen, who's currently in position near Carrollton, Texas. And so we'll see if we see anything up there. But the velocities themselves have really fallen apart here over the last few minutes when it comes to the tornado risk. That was kind of moving up in the direction of Carrollton. So I'm not seeing as much rotation there, but we'll continue to keep an eye on it in case something does happen. Winds have increased just a little bit near Flower Mound. Wind gusts around 40 to 50 miles per hour, making their way down to the southeast. And then back over to the south of Dallas, we have mainly a wind threat pushing towards I-35 eastbound. But there is also a lot of lightning, and there is also a very low-end chance for maybe a spin-up tornado. We also have a slew of severe thunderstorm warnings off to the west of San Antonio. Big line of thunderstorms going towards Uvalde, Kerrville, and also going through Rock Springs. That is for 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds. That is a considerable risk of damaging winds right now, pushing to the east-southeast. That is moving east at about 45 miles per hour. A bit faster than the line that's moving through DFW right now. But continue to stay in your safe place again if you're anywhere in the severe thunderstorm warning back over in the DFW area. Also, this is what it looks like back over near Killeen right now. We actually are seeing the worst of the conditions move through Killeen. This is a live shot. We did have a severe thunderstorm warning here earlier. This is one of the radar Omega cyclone ports. The winds are not super intense, but gusty winds are moving through this area. Probably right around 40 to 50 miles per hour. This is only on a special weather statement right now, so wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour is the main concern. Getting a report from somebody on Twitter that Benbrook has power, but they are dealing with flooding. All right, let's go back over to here. And let me go back up to the north to DFW. We'll have another radar scan in a moment. Again, very intense line of thunderstorms currently pushing into Dallas, Irving, and Carrollton. Hey, you sued for the $10 super chat, Anna and Melissa. It should be mainly a wind threat tonight. Gusty winds will be the biggest concern. I don't think we're going to see anything really in the way of tornadoes, but still stay weather aware just in case. By the way, if you are new to this channel, we do cover the entire country. This isn't just Texas, but obviously today's threat of severe weather is basically only Texas. If we go over to our severe weather outlook for tonight, we still have a slight risk of severe weather in place, which does include much of North Texas, including Dallas, even Fort Worth, and then it goes down to Houston, Galveston, as well as College Station, Austin, San Antonio, Killeen, Waco, Kerrville. You guys are all included in that slight risk of severe weather, and the marginal threat goes to Oklahoma City, near Amarillo, just outside of Houston as well. You guys are under a marginal threat of severe weather for tonight, damaging winds being the greatest concern. There is a 5% tornado risk that does include San Antonio, Austin, Killeen, Waco, and Dallas, all up and down that I-35 corridor. And then our risk of severe weather tomorrow will shift to the southeast. Got another slight risk, which is a level 2 out of 5. For southeast Texas and central southern Louisiana, marginal threat for the DFW area, back into southern Mississippi, or sorry, yeah, southern Mississippi, and also going into central Texas. That does include San Antonio. So there's also a chance of a live stream tomorrow on top of what you've already seen today. But we have an active 24 hours of severe weather ahead, and then our focus will all shift to Hurricane Melissa, which is expected to, or it's expected to become a hurricane tonight or tomorrow, and that will likely become a Category 4 or 5 hurricane before making landfall in Jamaica, as probably the most catastrophic hurricane we've ever seen in Jamaica. This is another video that just came, or another photo. No, this is a video that just came in. This back over in Hurst, Texas, from Berto in Texas. Good amount of lightning here as well. Visibility again under a mile. Not too terrible here. Winds are actually pretty calm here. It's like mostly a lightning show. Just gonna skip through the video a little bit. Yeah, decent amount of lightning. Look back over at Hurst, Texas. We also just got a mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center. They've gone ahead and alluded to the threat of damaging wind gusts and a brief tornado being the greatest concerns. The severe weather potential should gradually decrease as the storms move to the east. There's also a localized environment, a mesovortex with a brief tornado potential back over here in the Dallas and Tarrant County area. So that does include Dallas, Texas. It does include far southern parts of Collin County. It also includes southeastern Denton County, back over near Flower Mound, also Fort Worth. So they've outlined that mesovortex that we have right now in DFW could still produce a brief tornado. Most probable peak intensity for tornadoes is up to 115 mile per hour winds, and then also the damaging wind threat is up to 70 miles per hour. Thank you, Tyler, for the $5 super chat. No problem at all. Appreciate you tuning in. Also, shout out to Diesel with the $10 super chat. Stay safe there in Hutto, Texas. Well, that's not good. Something happened here. I don't know if that's just construction or some sort of accident happened. But this is back over on the east side of Fort Worth, back over where we've had significant damaging winds over the last several minutes. It's hard to tell what's exactly happening ahead. Let's say slow down. Either just normal construction or it's some sort of accident. There's quite a bit of flashing lights for that just to be construction. All right, we do have to point this out. We may have a tornado. Yeah. It's not for sure, but there may be something dropping, a little area of stronger rotation that's actually heading right towards the DFW airport. So we got a little area of stronger rotation associated with that mesovortex that is heading up towards Carrollton right now. So if you're back over just to the southwest of Carrollton, little heads up. Even the regional radar site is showing some rotation there. So that's going right up towards Carrollton, just northwest of Irving right now. Damaging winds the biggest concern right now, heading towards Dallas. Thank you, Lay, for the $20 super chat. You're literally across 35 from the Fort Worth radar site. Thanks for all you do. We have the kids in our safe spot with helmets on 25 minutes before the sirens. Our tree was hit by lightning. It split in half just 20 minutes ago. That is crazy. Glad you guys stayed safe. Thank you, Leslie, for the super chat as well. Looks like the traffic is starting to move. There could even be some flooding up here. Hard to tell. I think Nick was saying what it was, but went back to radar because of the rotation. Thank you, Cloak, for the super chat. Do you remember seeing a tornado in central Fort Worth? I mean, I remember the tornado a few years ago that happened in Fort Worth. That's what you're alluding to. If you're talking about the one tonight, I mean, that just happened.
I have no idea what that was about, but they had all the lanes blocked, so...
Alrighty, so just kind of random.
It's like we're rolling again.
Thank you, Brett, for the $10 super chat, and Dentless for the $20 super chat, and Jivo for the $5 super chat. That's where I live. Stay safe. There's a lot of people that live here in North Texas. This is an area, again, that we basically started this channel on, for the record. Like, North Texas, DFW, this is our original point of where we started. This is where everything began, and you know, over the last several years, we've continued to focus. If there's ever a severe weather event in North Texas, we will almost undoubtedly go live if there's at least something significant happening. And this is an event that we obviously knew something was going to happen. And unfortunately, we did not expect an unwarned tornado to happen in Fort Worth, but there was obviously a lot of people in the Fort Worth area, and the tornado itself hopefully was just weak, but there was some sort of tornado there for about 5 or 10 minutes. Where do I live? I'm in Florida. Thank you, Dentless, for the $10 super chat. I used to live in North Texas, though. Apparently, he thinks that may have been an accident, by the way, that was getting cleared up. That little police stuff there. Latest scan still showing a little bit of rotation right now. Northwest of us still. This is coming up towards the Fort Worth airport. John McKinney, bottom middle of your screen, is located near Carrollton. So this is an area, again, of rotation that is moving up in his direction. We still have a little bit of broad rotation near Bedford. We'll have a new radar scan within a moment or two. I'm not seeing a whole lot of rotation elsewhere right now. Again, the greatest tornado threat really is in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So if you are in DFW, continue to stay weather aware. We still have a little bit of rotation going towards Carrollton, Texas. New radar scan is now coming in as we speak. Here's that new radar scan. So still some rotation right now over 114 coming up on Interstate 635. That'll be approaching Carrollton. It's not overly strong. If we were to see a tornado here, it'd more than likely be on the weak side of things. Thank you, Michael, for the $8 PayPal donation. I appreciate that. And also Skylar for the Venmo donation. Has anyone mentioned Allen? Not really a whole lot to talk about for Allen right now. This is going to be what we need to watch for going up towards Allen and Plano. I'm not sure if it's going to make it as far north as Allen, Texas, but it should make it up towards Plano. So there is at least a low-end chance for a spin-up tornado near Plano here over the next half hour to an hour. Max, you eat dinner yet? I have actually had like no food since like 1 o'clock. I was going to eat dinner and then this happened. So we're kind of chalked in that department. Apparently Riley is still eating his lunch, which is kind of impressive. It is 9 o'clock. It's almost 10 o'clock. It has passed Haltom City. Yeah, it's past Haltom City at this point. If you're in Haltom City, you guys you're good. The biggest concern at this point will be flooding. Same thing with Fort Worth. It's mainly going to be for the Dallas, Tarrant, or not really Tarrant, Eastern Tarrant County, still stay weather aware. Anywhere in Dallas County, I'll just kind of draw a line. Basically, anywhere east of this line, still stay weather aware. And we'll continue to be live here as long as there is a risk here of tornadoes. Got another video coming out of Benbrook, Texas. This is from Hillbilly on Twitter. This is crazy. Look at this. And these are definitely 70+ mile-per-hour winds. Almost looks like a hurricane. They also, Sarah, for the Venmo donation. Appreciate that. Fasting is good for you. It's not intentional. Have McDonald's tonight? I literally had McDonald's for lunch, and I didn't even want that today. It just happened. Today's been such a busy day, and this is kind of capping off a very busy day. Hey, James for the $10 super chat, and also Jessica for the 12-month membership. Is Riley around? Riley is here. How long will this last? The worst of this threat will go through about 10:30, 11 o'clock. So we got about an hour and a half until things really start to wind down. But really, the next hour and a half is going to be the worst of it. And then after that, this line should weaken as it moves towards Shreveport. And then our next threat is really going to be down here. We got a big line forming back over in far west Texas near Rock Springs, damaging winds being the greatest concern. That'll make its way towards San Antonio, Austin, Fredericksburg, Kerrville, and Round Rock with a more elevated risk of damaging winds. There will be a threat for a couple of tornadoes overnight tonight. So if you're in Austin, San Antonio, Waco, there is always an off chance that we could be live later tonight too, covering severe weather, like we're talking after midnight. But I'm thinking the worst thing that will happen there is probably gonna be the wind threat, perhaps a couple of spin up tornadoes, but a lot of it is going to be, you know, overnight tonight. So you're definitely going to want to have multiple ways to receive alerts. All right, latest radar scans coming in here for the DFW area. We still have broad rotation near the DFW airport. This is the closest radar to it. Still a little bit of rotation there. Let me go back up to the radar site near Love Field, and you can actually see there may have been something brief there. This is located, I believe it's like, oh, this is actually the airport right here. So the rotation's actually over the airport right now. You can actually see the terminals on the map. I thought it was further up to the north. But this right here is actually DFW Airport. And the rotation itself is currently located over DFW Airport. Not really, I don't think there's a tornado here, but there's some rotation, so. It's very weak rotation. If there were to be a tornado, it would be on the weaker side of things. But that's legitimately over the DFW Airport, which is pretty crazy. If you want specific details, it's over Terminal E. So, if you're currently at Terminal E, there might be something there. And it's also next to a big parking lot, I believe. Also, big line of thunderstorms is about to push into DeSoto and Dallas, and damaging winds around 60 miles per hour coming up into those areas right now. Thank you, Joseph, also for the super chat. Appreciate that. And also thank you, Velma, for the super chat. Denison's going to be mainly a wind threat. But at this point, I'm not expecting a whole lot of severe weather. I think the flooding risk is more concerning up there. All right, Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey, Max, so a few different things to cover. First off, I want to talk about this area of rotation again, looking at the TDAL radar. So this is the radar at one of the airports. We can see that we do have this little area of rotation. I do not think it is producing a tornado right now. However, it could shortly, should it try and wrap up a little more. So that is one thing to keep an eye on. Heading over to our main Fort Worth radar, we can also see that area of rotation on velocity as well. However, it is a little less significant looking just because it is further up in the air and further away from the radar site. We're looking at a bunch of different areas as well where we could potentially try to see spin up tornadoes. Luckily, we haven't seen any of these areas actually manage to spin up further down the line. One of the reasons for that is our main area of tornado environment is actually further off to the north. This is a look at STP on our mesoscale analysis. There is also that other convection down here to the south that you were alluding to. However, I do not think this is going to have much of a tornado threat just because it is very outflow dominant. Actually, if we come and take a look at our radar site down here, we can see this fat line way ahead of the convection. This is our outflow boundary. This means that it is pushing cold air out from underneath it. It is going to be mainly a damaging wind threat. However, what we are going to see as a threat from both of our systems is going to be excessive rainfall. So this is the Weather Prediction Center's excessive rainfall outlook, and we can see that there is a large slight risk of excessive rainfall, and we're going to see that over the next few hours as we continue to see most of this convection move off to the east into Louisiana. You did allude to our tornado threat tomorrow as well. The HRRR actually just came in for tomorrow. We're not really seeing any more of that afternoon development that we were once worried about. It does seem like the main tornado threat for tomorrow at this point in time will be sort of around that afternoon time frame with the leftover convection from today's event. So hopefully tomorrow doesn't sort of take advantage of the environment just as much as it could, but there will still be a tornado threat tomorrow in parts of Louisiana.
Alrighty, thank you, Riley, for the update. So that's a little overview of what's upcoming here over the next 24 to 48 hours, and also what's happening in real time. Also, thank you, Talina, for the Venmo donation. Once again, we have a significant line of thunderstorms still pushing its way through the Dallas-Fort Worth area. As we alluded to a few minutes ago, this line will gradually weaken over time as it moves east. That does not mean, though, the severe weather risk is over. We are still dealing with damaging winds, and there is still a possibility for a spin-up tornado. In fact, we actually still have rotation near Carrollton. It's right over the radar site. The terminal radar site here, and I don't think we have a clear view of it, but there is rotation right now, located over Carrollton, so there's some convergence there. That's actually tracking up towards where John McKinney is, so we have him bottom middle of your screen. That's going to be coming up on Hebron, Cowley, and Plano. So heads up, if you're back over near Plano, Texas, there is a possibility for a brief tornado here as this moves off to the northeast, heading up towards Addison and as well as Richardson. All right, so those are areas that are currently in the path of a possible tornado that's developing. Do not have a CC drop or anything like that. It's not confirmed, but there is rotation there. This may end up getting, I'm going to be honest, I don't think we're going to get a tornado warning on this because we didn't get one on the last one for whatever reason. But, you know, if you're back over in Plano, stay weather aware here. We do have rotation coming up towards you guys right now. And once John McKinney has a little bit more of a live shot after he's done looking at the radar, we'll go to him. But there's definitely some rotation there just to his south. And again, you can see John McKinney inside of the Radar Omega app. He's located right here. He's near, what road is this? This is on Frankfurt Road. just north of Carrollton. And this is again tracking up towards Cowley, Plano, and Richardson. Then back over near Killeen, Texas, we got a big line of thunderstorms moving through Temple, Waco, Hewitt. None of this is actually severe. However, the winds are actually pretty high right now near Salado, Texas. Probably around 60-mile-per-hour winds. Just south of I-14, that'll be approaching Round Rock, Austin, and College Station here within the next half hour. So pretty intense line of thunderstorms still going through those areas. We have some wind gusts coming out of areas just southeast of Fort Worth. We have a 67-mile-per-hour wind gust reported over in Cannondale, Texas. So that is in Tarrant County. And then just west of Fort Worth, we had a 63-mile-per-hour wind gust in Westworth, Texas. That was an AWOS that reported that at 9:08 p.m. At the little 6-7. Hey, Carver for the 6-month membership. This is a video that we just got sent in back over in at the DFW airport, actually. This is a video just moments ago from DFW airport. Hey, Fat, for the $5 super chat. So there's pretty calm conditions, at least when this video was taken. Our new radar scan is coming in right now. Wait and see what it looks like. Where do we send videos? You can at me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. You can send it to us on Facebook. The link is down below as well. That's also at MaxVelocityWX. Our new radar scan just came in. We'll see what the velocities look like near Carrollton in a moment. Got some high winds currently pushing into DeSoto actually right now. This is a live shot in DeSoto, Texas. The winds are picking up a little bit there with the line. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey, Max, that area circulation right on top of the T-Dial terminal radar, 100% a tornado. Can't see a CC drop because it is a terminal radar, but there's a very strong couplet. This is heading into Trinity Mills, Texas, and Carrollton, Texas.
Yep, we got another tornado on the ground. This one's also unwarned. Tornado is in progress near Carrollton, Texas. This is, again, it's like Groundhog Day. Another tornado in progress, and you can actually see it clearly on the terminal radar site. That is east of Bethel. That's going to be coming up on Carrollton here in a couple minutes. It literally just dropped past the terminal radar site. And that'll be moving in. This is going to be moving right by John McKinney here in a moment. So we might see something. Bottom middle of your screen, keep an eye out for power flashes. This is a tornado that'll be coming up on Trinity Mills, Hebron, and eventually going towards Cowley. But again, this is literally just dropped within the last minute or two. This literally just dropped over the terminal radar site here. So Carrollton, Texas, you need to be in your safe place right now. Again, I would expect we're not going to get a tornado warning on this. But this is almost undoubtedly another unwarned tornado here heading to the northeast towards Highway 190. Hopefully we get a tornado warning on this. I'm not very confident we're going to get one. But if you have friends or family here, make sure that they're aware of this. Again, I'm going to draw a little polygon here just to give you an idea of where you should be taking shelter. Anywhere in this area, I'd be seeking shelter. All right, just as a precaution, because we do think there's a tornado on the ground right now west of Carrollton. We don't have a CC drop, but the tight velocities here right next to the terminal radar site are almost a guaranteed tornado here. This is actually over Ave of Champions near Green Court, Cowboys Parkway. This is, again, just east of the DFW airport. And the latest scan still shows that strong rotation. If we have a tornado still, it's over Beltline Road. It's going to be moving over Sandy Lake Road, Luna Road, and also over the Interstate 35 eastbound area here in just a moment. John McKinney is literally next to where this tornado will be here in just a minute or two. Let's see, this is at the racetrack. This is again located near Trinity Mills, which is about 2 miles north of this tornado. See if we can see any power flashes, but they have turned on sails, by the way, which means the radar scans are coming in very frequently, which is good. We are waiting to see if we get a debris signature. This could be a weak tornado. We don't really know, but velocities are at least strong enough for there to be a tornado right now going towards Trinity Mills. And this is tracking up towards Hebron, Cowley, and Renner. It's like a waterfall. He's currently parked right in front of the drainage to the top of the gas station. He is now parked underneath the drainage from the gas station. I don't know what he's doing. All right, we'll come back to him in a second. He is currently near, though, this, I don't know why I got close to it, but he is currently located, again, just to the north of where this tornado is located. Again, we think there's still a tornado in progress just west of Carrollton. It's not nearly as strong of a look as before, but we do think there is a tornado here. No debris signature either, according to radar, but the terminal radar site, again, in my opinion, is enough to at least verify that we at least had a brief tornado here. There's another terminal radar site also picking up on that on the west side of Carrollton near Valley Ranch. And this is coming up towards Trinity Mills, New Koreatown, 190, eventually going towards Plano. Why no warning? I could not tell you. We have had no tornado warnings since like 7 o'clock. Thank you, Bailey, for the Venmo donation. Appreciate that. I really don't know why we haven't had tornado warnings. Again, I haven't even seen anything from the National Weather Service here about it, but this isn't as obvious as the first one we had, but this is obviously, I mean, this is, I don't know. I think it's pretty obvious. We at least have a tight couplet. It's another one of these little brief tornadoes happening around our mesovortex. Likely is going to lift in the next minute or two, but at least for now, it is on the ground. And it is moving towards Trinity Mills. Again, John McKinney is looking in the direction of where the tornado is located. And you can see he's getting a lot of heavy rain currently moving through here. This is near New Koreatown, so near Trinity Mills. We might be driving down that direction right now in a second. Thank you, Billy, for the $10 super chat. I think Rockwell will be mainly a wind threat, still a low-end tornado potential as well. By the way, as a friendly reminder, we do not need a tornado warning for there to be a tornado on the ground. I just want to reiterate that because some people do think we need a warning for there to actually be a tornado. That is not how it works. Tornadoes can happen at any time. We already had a tornado, we think, south of Fort Worth a little earlier. Like 99.9% sure that was 100% a tornado. On the other hand, this one, I'm pretty certain as well that this is also a tornado that dropped here over the last couple minutes. You can see, again, the very tight couplet that just went over the Ave of Champions near Valley Ranch Parkway. West of Carrollton. Again, I do not think it's on the ground anymore, but we at least have enough rotation to still at least... I would still make sure, at least if you're in this area, that you are seeking shelter, just in case it is still on the ground. But I do think it is probably lifted at this point. If not, it's going to be lifting in the next minute or two. Also, thank you, Jonah, for becoming a member. How's Waxahachie looking? Mainly a wind threat. Where's that car video? The video bottom middle of your screen is located over near Carrollton. And the location is on your screen, is right here. It's just north of Carrollton. Basically just north of where this tornado just happened. Thank you, Ali, for the super chat. San Antonio, mainly a wind threat. All right, John McKinney will be in some of the worst of the conditions here in a moment. Let me go back to the terminal radar site. I'll have another scan in a moment, but still some rotation right now west of Carrollton. It's northwest of Farmers Branch, heading towards New Koreatown. We still have a tornado. Again, it'll be coming up on Sandy Lake Road over the next minute. This radar has not updated in 5 minutes. The radar further off to the north is also 6 minutes off. So both of those radars have not updated in quite some time. Again, if I had to guess, there's no longer a tornado in progress, but we just had one again near Carrollton for a few moments there. This is back over to John McKinney, and the wind is definitely picking up here. Here comes some of the worst of this storm now near Carrollton. They take 5 for the $20 super chat. PDSG skirts, appreciate that. Hey, Bailey, for the Venmo donation. Multiple cars parked under the overpass, or under the gas station here. As the high winds come in and the remnants of that brief tornado, sparking a little bit of an RFD surge here, which is your rear flank downdraft. I do not see any evidence, by the way, of a tornado anymore, but we could see another one spin up. So if you're back over near Plano, Allen, definitely get ready for a possible tornado risk. The wind bounce off the gas truck here. Definitely 60 plus mile per hour winds here, moving right through Carrollton. So again, near New Koreatown. Hey, Ali, for the one gifted membership. Will you be covering the hurricane? Maybe. We'll see. I wouldn't rule out a live stream for the hurricane, but we'll have to wait and see. Tons of lightning. Won't be surprised if we start to see some power flashes from all the high winds. Hey, Madison, for the super chat.
Elaine.
Where's everybody tuning in from in the chat tonight? Let me know in the chat.
Day.
I'm guessing a lot of you guys are from Texas, but let me know where you guys are all tuning in from in the chat.
Appreciate that.
Will Weatherford, Texas have a round 2 tonight? Not really, no. Actually got some people from St. Louis, Minnesota, Wisconsin. I see Cleveland, Texas, Arizona. Actually pretty diverse, I'm not gonna lie.
W's to Elaine.
What is that? That flipped over right there. You know what that is up the left? I think that's flipped over, whatever that is.
Woo! Strong gusts here. Get some strong gusts.
Good shot, Take 5 with the $20 super chat. PDF's cheese curds, appreciate that. Hey, Joe, for becoming a member. I haven't had cheese curds in a while. I did not have cheese curds before this, by the way. It's off the record. Look at all the water coming off the gas station. That's crazy. It looks like a waterfall. Worse than before. So again, at the racetrack over near the Koreatown area, or New Koreatown, west of Plano.
Laura.
Some of the caution tape has also flown off the gas pumps.
Appreciate the support. That's awesome. And Pat Pantson. Wow, thank you for the 5 gifted, man.
Wow.
Whoa. Appreciate that, Patson. So lots of W's here, man. Appreciate
Hey,
it.
Alfie, for the $10 super chat.
Wow, that's really kind, everybody.
Hey, Sheriff, for the $10 super chat as well.
Elaine, Laura, Patson. Thank you for the support. We're getting hammered here.
Hey, Diane also for the $20 super chat. Appreciate that.
Actually getting hammered.
We are waiting to get more damage reports out of the North Texas region, specifically near DFW, for that tornado that we very well think happened south of Fort Worth earlier, that went unwarned. We have not yet had any sort of major damage come out, but this is one photo that we just got sent in. This was sent in by Shalene on Facebook, back over in the area of where that tornado occurred. So A big tree came down there, and again, as we'll continue to see if any more damage reports come out. If you were in the area, like Fort Worth area, during when that storm rolled through, definitely send in photos and videos. You can send them in on Twitter or Facebook at MaxVelocityWX, as that was obviously a very tense moment as that storm was rolling through over 1 million people. Last couple radar scans back over near Carrollton. We are still watching some broad rotation located north of Carrollton, heading up towards Hebron, Cowley, and Plano. So, again, that is currently tracking to the northeast, going towards Highway 13, just south of the Colony. So if you are anywhere near Plano, Texas, continue to stay weather aware, damaging winds being the greatest concern. We could still see a tornado or two spin up out of this as it continues to move east-northeast. Back over to John McKinney. He's now sitting. John McKinney is now sitting underneath that gas, the drainage to the gas station. He is adventuring here at this gas station right now.
Appreciate that, man.
This is what it looks like if you park under one of those when the rain's falling that hard. Hey, Michelle, for the 9 months.
Out here, guys.
Now Sean's getting out of the gas station. It's still pretty windy here. This is like consistently free car wash. I mean, it's basically a car wash. If you guys need a car wash, go down to the racetrack. Get under the drainage of this gas station. Free car wash for everybody. Don't actually, but. It's been consistently windy there north of Carrollton for about 10 minutes now. Last few scans still showing some rotation. It's not very strong, but we still have some broad rotation moving to the northeast. One of the terminal radar sites has been picking up on some rotation over Carrollton. This is the 10:03 p.m. radar scan at the terminal radar site near the Colony, and it's still showing some broad rotation heading up towards Cowley and Plano. And once again, we're going to be live as long as there is a tornado risk, and there still is. Plano again, Allen, McKinney, and Frisco. Continue to stay alert as this line continues to push to the northeast. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, or a little update, I should say, west of San Antonio. This is back over near Uvalde and Campwood for 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds. This is an intense line of storms that will be moving towards San Antonio here over the next hour or two. So if you're over in San Antonio, you guys still got about, an hour and a half, 2 hours until this is knocking on your doorstep, but get ready for an intense line of storms. Same thing for New Braunfels and as well as Austin, Texas. And then all the way back up near Waco and Temple, the worst of the storms are currently moving through your area right now. We do have a damage report back over in Fort Worth, Texas. This is right around when that tornado happened. A large tree was blown down. That's according to broadcast media. That was on the north side of Fort Worth. If we go back in time here, just to give you an idea of where this tornado happened, it began right about here or so, and then lasted up to about here. So that might have been the ending of it. That might have been the ending of it, so that would potentially line up with that. This is pretty interesting. There's this is in Fort Worth. This may have been a power flash from when the tornado happened. See it right there on top left. That kind of gives, that looks like a power flash there. It's hard to tell for sure, but I do think that was a power flash. So that was over in Fort Worth earlier as well. And keep in mind that there are tons of customers without power in Texas right now. The update is that, let me get the update here. In Tarrant County, we're now at 32,000 customers without power. About almost all of them are Encore customers. So 32,000 people without power in Tarrant County. And then Hill County is about 800, and then Clay County is 254. Again, it would be hard to believe we did not have a tornado with that. I've seen some posts on social media saying, like, there's no way that was a tornado, but again, guys, I'm very confident that was one. We had plenty of evidence on radar to prove it. And on top of that, the other tornado near Carrollton that we just had, we think was also on the ground. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, this actually isn't about tornadoes, but about Hurricane Melissa. We have now officially had the island of Jamaica be upgraded to a hurricane warning. We're now anticipating sustained wind speeds of 155 miles an hour with gusts to 190 around the time this storm is anticipated to make landfall in Jamaica. So what that hurricane warning upgrade means, that means all international airports in Jamaica are now closed. If you are on the island of Jamaica, you will not be evacuated before the storm makes landfall. Those airports are closed. There will be no more flights going into them and no more flights coming out of them. Your best chance of survival if you're on the island is go away from the edge of the ocean. There's going to be storm surge. There's going to be 30 inches of rain. This is going to be a catastrophic situation, and it's going to be one of the most impactful hurricanes we've had in a long time. You need to seek higher ground. Anyone who's seen the island of Jamaica knows what just a few inches of rain can do to the island. We're talking about over 2 feet of rain, potentially, maybe even over 3 feet of rain. So if you're on the island of Jamaica, you're not going to get evacuated. The hurricane warning has been issued, and it's time to start seeking higher ground.
Thank you, Riley, for the update. So, yeah, again, I do truly think that we are going to experience the worst hurricane that we've ever seen in Jamaica. I never say something like that, but I just think that's what's going to probably happen. Again, it's forecasted to get borderline Cat 5 intensity before landfall on Monday. So, catastrophic situations likely going to evolve in Jamaica, and that island could be dealing with significant damage. So, if you're in Jamaica and you're tuning in right now, make sure that you're getting to higher ground. Get to somewhere safe. The coastline's not going to be safe from that hurricane. And we'll have a video tomorrow morning, by the way, talking all about the hurricane in great detail, because I'm truly very concerned about the island of Jamaica with Hurricane Melissa, which it's not a hurricane yet, but it will be most likely by early tomorrow morning. Going back to North Texas weather here, we do have, again, still severe. We have actually no severe thunderstorm warnings in place anymore for North Texas. The only 2 severe warnings that we have in place are back over in southwestern Texas. That does not mean, though, severe weather's over. We still have an ongoing threat of gusty winds, at least, moving through Garland, Mesquite, Balch Springs, just pushed through Dallas. And then back over near Carrollton is an area that we've been keeping an eye out for a low-end tornado potential here. Still some broad spin with this little vortex that we've been watching, a little meso vortex that we've been watching for really over an hour now. Now that's now moving through Carrollton and Addison. So there is still a possibility for a brief tornado or two as this moves towards Plano. Plano is starting to see some gusty winds. Keep in mind our rotation's pretty far back to the west of that, so we're not really looking right now at a tornado risk at the moment for Plano, but we could see something develop in about 15-20 minutes. Again, anything that would happen would likely be on the brief and weak side of things, as we've kind of seen so far tonight, but it does not mean you should not be taking this seriously. Continue to watch the weather very closely back over near Plano, Texas. Thank you, Dolt, for the $10 super chat. Denton, Texas will be clearing out here pretty soon. Flash flooding is the biggest concern. We live stream the hurricane? We might. We'll see. We will see. I'm not entirely sure yet. But it is possible. Thank you, Jen, also for becoming a Maximum Velocity member. By the way, further down to the south, all gusty winds. We have no severe warnings at all in North Texas anymore. They're all special weather statements. So no longer any active severe thunderstorm warnings at this time. Yeah, if you're in Irving, you guys are pretty much done as well. Again, the line of storms has pushed through your neck of the woods. The greatest threat right now of severe weather is now pushing into Garland, Rockwall, Terrell, Kaufman, McKinney, and then eventually going towards Greenville. So those areas will be in the track of this. Not sure what John McKinney's doing, but he's out of his car now. Back over in near Carrollton. And I guess we're looking at some of the damage that happened. Looks like some one of the trash cans here at the racetrack got slammed into one of the cars that was parked here. Still pretty windy out here. Still got gusty winds even behind the line. Yeah, this is near New Koreatown, west of Plano. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Kinney and Valverde counties in Texas. That is, again, west of San Antonio for 70-mile-per-hour winds and golf ball-sized hail. They redeemed for the $50 super chat. How does Scurry, Texas look? Back over in Scurry, we're mainly looking at a damaging wind threat, but as of right now, no warnings. Just special weather statements, which means strong storms are moving in your area, or towards your area right now. What you got for Baton Rouge? Well, tomorrow's going to be interesting. Again, we have a severe risk, obviously, that will continue tonight. Tomorrow, though, we do have a risk of more tornadoes across the the southern plains, mainly along the Gulf Coast. This is NATOcast outlook for tornadoes tomorrow. They do have a large 5%. That does include southwest Mississippi, southern central Louisiana, and southeast Texas. And then the 2% goes back towards Houston. So there is a possibility, again, for a couple tornadoes tomorrow. I do think if we see any tornadoes, they'll be during the afternoon here in Louisiana, so stay weather aware. But overall, I'm not expecting a full-blown outbreak or anything like that. There's a possibility of a live stream tomorrow as well, so make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click the bell icon so you're notified if we were to go live tomorrow. But the odds of a live stream tomorrow are not looking super high, but it is a possibility, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Going back to live radar, the terminal radar site north of Carrollton is bugging, but we still have some very broad areas of rotation, again, west of Plano. Nothing in particular that looks like a tornado right now. Main concern, again, gusty winds. A weak, brief tornado still remains in play if you're near Plano, Cowley, Carrollton, or south of the Colony. Outside of that, again, we have flash flood warnings in effect all across western North Texas. Tons of rain. Look at that big blob of rain that is currently falling all across North Texas right now. And this is going to continue to lead to a flooding risk overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. Hey, Jack, for the $10 super chat. McKinney, Texas. McKinney, Texas will be mainly a wind threat. Very low tornado risk still exists for McKinney. There's lots of rain in Carrollton now. That's kind of how it's going to be here for the next few hours. Rain's not really going anywhere anytime soon. Got a photo back over from Jenny on Facebook. This is from Whitney, Texas, of a tree that has fallen. So this is another incident of a tree falling. Back over in Whitney, Texas. Also, there is a ground stop at DFW Airport. I'm not sure if that is still ongoing, but at least for the moment, that's the one of the reports I just got a few minutes ago. It was likely still on a ground stop. Hey, Brandon, for the $5 super chat. With all the lake effect rain this week in Lake Erie, is that a sign of lake effect snow this winter for western Pennsylvania? You guys are going to have plenty of lake effect snow. Don't worry about that. There will be plenty of lake effect snow over there. But in case you're tuning in from Jamaica or you have any friends or family there, this is some of the key messages for Tropical Storm Melissa, which is forecast to become a borderline Category 5 hurricane. Note here that they are forecasting upwards of 30+ inches of rain for Jamaica over the next several days. And this hurricane is forecasted to go right through the heart of Jamaica on Monday. I've personally never had such a bad feeling about a hurricane. Like, I'm being truly honest when I say this. We've had videos talking about this every day, and there is a reason why. This could easily be the worst hurricane that we've seen for Jamaica, like, ever. Like, there is a possibility that we could see catastrophic destruction across a lot of the island. So, unfortunately, this is not looking good for Jamaica, and there's very little hope that this is going to change trajectories at all or be weaker than it's already forecasted to be. This is forecasted to be a borderline Category 5 hurricane, and I would honestly expect it will become a Category 5. Thank you, JR, for becoming a member. Welcome to the Velocities. Still have some broad rotation right now in the northeast or northwest side of Plano. Latest radar scan does show broad rotation right now near 75. That's going to be moving into Allen, Texas over the next few minutes. And very low-end chance still for a tornado as this continues to move to the northeast. Thank you also, Provo, for the $25 Venmo donation. Appreciate that. Plano update. We're talking about Plano right now. I mean, again, the greatest concern is gusty winds. We still have a couple areas of rotation. Probably the main one is going to be north of Plano. A little bit further back to the west, it's mostly just gusty winds at this point. So, again, still an ongoing threat for a brief tornado, probably for the next 30 minutes or so. And then after that, the greater concern will be gusty winds, lots of lightning, lots of rain. That'll push into East Texas overnight tonight. The severe thunderstorm watch, I would anticipate, will not be extended here for Northeast Texas, but still something they'll be keeping an eye on overnight tonight. We are coming up on 10:30 right now. Riley has an update. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Max, so just a little piece of history on the hurricane. This is the NOAA historical hurricane track viewer. Anything you see in pink is a category 5, and anything you see in purple is a category 4. We can see from this that there's been one category 4 hurricane to make landfall in Jamaica in all of recorded history. So this could be the second one to ever make landfall, and just note that this one that did make landfall was just barely a category 4. So if this does make landfall, it will be the strongest hurricane to ever make landfall in Jamaica, and it will produce the most rain of any hurricane by far as well. So this is literally historical for Jamaica. It has never happened in recorded history, and that is part of the reason why we are so concerned about this hurricane.
Thank you, Riley, for the update. So, again, this is going to be a historic hurricane. No other way around it. It's crazy to think it's not even a hurricane yet. It is still a tropical storm. It's about to be a hurricane. It will be a hurricane tomorrow. And then by Sunday, it will probably be a Cat 4. Thank you, Ulyss, for the $10 super chat. Thank you for your coverage of these storms. I'm thankfully in an area where only light rain, but a lot of lightning and thunder. Definitely keeping an eye out tonight. Appreciate the super chat. I'm glad I can help. Also, thank you, Peter, for becoming a member as well. Welcome to the Velocities. What's going on in Waco? We just got strong storms rolling through Waco right now. You guys are going to be settling down here within the next hour. Decent clip of thunderstorms currently pushing through your neck of the woods. How would you be able to cover it? Do you have cameras down there? Well, Tornado Pagey, Bryce Shelton, or specifically Bryce Shelton, he's going to be down there in Jamaica. I think he's actually already there, but he is going to be covering Hurricane Melissa, and so we will have him. If we do, I'm not sure if we're going to cover it live, but if we were to, we'll have him on the stream, and I believe we'll probably have a couple cameras as well, but yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to cover it live. We'll have to wait and see, but I do know for a fact that we will have at least a chaser down there, so I'll even have a few. We'll see. But I'm not sure if we're going to cover it live yet. It's kind of one of those things, like, if we did cover it live, we would just be watching what is happening in real time. There wouldn't really be a whole lot of, like, kind of pre-coverage to it, because it's literally, there's no way to evacuate, you know, Jamaica, like, other than taking a flight, so at that point, it would literally just be covering what's happening in real time, which is possible. We'll wait and see. But if you do want to watch them, you can actually watch Bryce Shelton, Tornado Pagey inside of the Radar Omega app. You can download it with the top link in the description below. They'll be live in the app, and they'll also be live on their YouTube channel, which is Tornado Pagey. Check Waco velocities. The velocities near Waco are pretty contaminated. I'm not seeing really any tornado risk right now down here. It's mostly just gusty winds. Thank you, D, for the Venmo donation. Appreciate that. Also, thank you, Waco, for the super chat. Will Waco, Texas see severe weather tomorrow? We do have a little risk of severe weather tomorrow for Waco, but it should be low. I think it'll be mainly a wind threat. Perhaps some hail in the afternoon hours with a couple of storms that pop up. But again, this is your outlook for tomorrow. Slight risk for Baton Rouge and New Orleans, Houston, Galveston, the Woodlands, College Station, Austin, and Killeen. Victoria, Waco, you guys are in that slight risk. Marginal threat does still include Dallas, Fort Worth, Shreveport, Monroe, Tyler, Gulfport, Brownwood, Kerrville, and San Antonio. So there is a chance of a live stream tomorrow. I would not say it's that high, but there is a possibility. We'll have to wait and see. Hey Max, what happened to the severe weather outbreak that was supposed to Indiana on Monday? It's quite impressive how much the model is downtraded on Monday's event. And a lot of it actually has to do with the hurricane, but it also has to do with this more slowly progressing trough that we have. What's really interesting is if we go over to the future radar, and if you guys watched our forecast earlier in the week, we did allude to this, and even the Storm Prediction Center, they mentioned that we could have higher than 15% probabilities added to like a day 5 or 6 outlook. But you know what happened? Is that this storm system that's coming in Monday into Tuesday is going to be a very weak low pressure system. We may see some severe weather Tuesday into Wednesday in the Dixie Alley, but there will be basically nothing in the Midwest. So yeah, that downtrended like substantially. I don't even think we can go far back enough to show you like a more legit run of this storm. This is probably the closest it'll look, but it at least showed a more robust threat of severe weather being possible. But at this point, I'm not expecting really much to happen out of this. But it is very impressive, I've got to say, how much that downtrended. But yeah, next week doesn't look too bad across the country. I think the southeast, the east coast, the main areas to watch. Big cold blast, by the way. We'll have a little bit of a discussion about this tomorrow, I think, in the video. But we'll have a big area of cold air by Wednesday and Thursday across the Gulf Coast and the southeast. Temperatures will be as much as 20 to even upwards of 30 degrees below average. So it will be very cold down there. We could even see some record-breaking low temperatures in some spots going into Wednesday and Thursday, just in time for Halloween. All right, latest 2 radar scans still showing some broad rotation right now near Allen, Texas. Again, not seeing a whole lot. That is moving towards Princeton and making up towards McKinney and Farmersville here over the next few minutes. Freeze warning tonight in Virginia. Actually, look at the warning map here. This is our warnings currently across the country. All those blue boxes are your freeze warnings, so anywhere from northern Indiana back into Virginia. Also including much of Ohio. You guys are under at least a risk here for freeze tonight. Temperatures will drop below 32 degrees for most of these areas, so get ready for that. We also have flood watches in effect from Houston all the way back through central Oklahoma, and also dense fog advisories for Nebraska, Kansas, and then winter weather advisories in the Pacific Northwest. This is a beautiful sight to see. This one, you know winter's coming. Below average temperatures in the forecast across the southeast as we go into the beginning of November, right in time for Halloween. For being in Florida, I am excited about that. Excited for some cooler weather is on the horizon. Shreveport tomorrow, I think it'll be mostly a wind threat. There is a low chance of a tornado. The latest HRRR model run has come out for tomorrow, and I'll show you guys that here for the Southern Plains, Texas, and Louisiana as well. Here's a look at what's going to look like tonight to tomorrow. Big line of storms continues overnight tonight. This is going to be all up and down the I-35 corridor around midnight tonight, and then by early tomorrow morning, those storms will be moving into Houston, Texas. Could have a couple of prefrontal supercells out in front of this line. Don't expect a whole lot in the way, though, of tornadoes. And then eventually, as we go into the late morning and early afternoon, that is when we're going to start to see the atmosphere probably destabilize. Right now, the HRRR does not have anything firing in Louisiana during the afternoon hours. And if that is the case, we will probably not see much in the way of tornadoes tomorrow. However, back over near the Gulf Coast, there is at least a possibility for a spin-up tornado or two during the late afternoon and early evening near Houston. And then overnight hours into Sunday, that area of storms will move in the direction of Florida, Alabama, and Mississippi. So, quite the active next 48 hours ahead still across the southern plains, and there's already been a boatload of rainfall out of these storms. And more is still to come. We are still ways away from that being done. Hey, Son, for the $5 super chat. Rotation near Mount Calm. Well, if it's near Mount Calm, it's not very calm. That's pretty broad. It's rotating, but it's not really much. I'm not too concerned about that right now. But low-end tornado potential going in the direction of Palestine here over the next 30 minutes or so. But again, not too concerned about that. Is tornado risk over in Frisco? If you're anywhere behind this line right here, you guys are done with severe weather. At this point, it's mainly just flooding. Flooding risk is going to be the biggest concern. Somebody just said it's surprisingly quiet in Plano. There's a broad area of rotation to your north, but I think really any wind that has moved through has already moved through your area. How much snow is Minneapolis going to get this winter? We actually did a winter forecast talking in depth about snow. You can actually watch that. It is it's actually the main video. If you go to the front page of my YouTube channel, it's the main video there. Definitely recommend you check it out. Is Mesquite safe? Again, anywhere behind this line that I just read, I'm pretty sure Mesquite is back here somewhere. Oh, it's over here. Mesquite, yeah, you guys are about done. I would give it like 5 more minutes, and then after that, you guys are chilling. When's the next winter forecast? We might have another winter forecast at the beginning of November. We'll see. You guys want another winter forecast? The next winter forecast, I think we're going to talk more about the cold weather about this winter instead of... We basically, the way that we've done these winter forecasts is the winter forecast to begin... the first winter forecast that we did was like a broad overview. The one that we just did a couple weeks ago, that was about mostly snow. And then I think the next one we're going to do is mostly about cold. And then the last one we'll do is probably just kind of a recap or just going over like the final prediction sort of thing. So, might do another winter forecast. Are you going to do the cat cam? I will be. I don't have a, I can't really show you guys, but over here to my right, my right? Yeah, my right, your left, there is a cat tower there, and the plan is to set up a camera somewhere for that. They want for the super chat as well. Ennis, Texas. Hey, look where Ennis is. I think Ennis is already seeing the storms right now. Are you about to? Yeah, you guys are going to see some gusty winds. No tornado risk, really, though. Mostly gusty winds. Also, today's stream is brought to you by Radar Omega. It is the weather app we've been using throughout this entire live stream. Definitely recommend you check it out. It is the top link in the description below on iOS and Android. There's tons of storm chasers inside of the app. I know we've only had John McKinney on today, but there were a bunch of other chasers in South Texas today chasing a different risk of severe weather that was occurring back over to the west of Austin. But tons of chasers are inside of the app. A lot more are coming here over the next few weeks, so definitely make sure to check it out. It's the top link in the description below. Also, a bunch of updates are coming out very soon to Radar Omega, so definitely make sure to download it, check it out. It is a phenomenal weather app, and it's getting better and better. Lots of cool updates are coming. Download it again, top link in the description below on iOS and Android. Clean Texas, you guys are going to be winding down here over the next half hour. You know, the worst of the storms have already kind of moved through your area. That's what it looks like in Clean right now. Still raining, but we're basically done with the worst of it. Is Jamaica evacuating? Most of Jamaica is not able to evacuate. I mean, the only way you can evacuate is through a plane. There's only so many planes that are going to be going out of Jamaica. So most people are not able to evacuate, which makes the situation that much worse. Unfortunately. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Kerr, Kendall, and Gillespie counties in Texas. That'll be back down here, I believe. Pop up here in a moment. We're going to cover the hurricane live. I've already been asked that question a lot. Again, I don't really know. We'll see. Maybe. Not sure. New severe thunderstorm warning again for Kerrville, Texas. Comfort, Ingram, just out the Harper. That is going to be for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. Moving to the east. Heading in the direction of Austin. Flights were sold out this morning. I do not doubt it. And unfortunately, the international airports there are closing. Or all airports are closing in Jamaica. It looks like right now the rotation's still pretty broad right now near Allen. Again, that's going to be coming up towards Princeton and Farmersville, Blue Ridge and Melissa. I do think the tornado risk at this point is pretty much winding down. There's still a low-end chance that we could see another spin-up tornado somewhere, but I'd be really watching down here a little bit more too, like Corsicana going towards Athens, Gun Barrel City, Palestine. We've got some broad rotation on this leading edge of the line heading up towards Corsicana, but I'm not seeing anything too out of the ordinary right now. That makes me think that we're going to see an imminent tornado here, but we can always see a spin-up tornado at some point. Keep in mind that this line of thunderstorms is literally massive. I mean, it stretches almost over 200 miles here, or about 200 miles. It goes from about Round Rock all the way back up towards the Red River. And so, it's a pretty long line of storms. It's going to continue to move to the east. And we're going to continue to see at least some isolated damaging winds and maybe a couple spin-up tornadoes overnight tonight. And then back over to the west of Austin. This is a more intense line of thunderstorms. It's actually more organized than the line of storms back up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This one's pushing through Kerrville, going towards San Antonio. This will be primarily producing 60 to 70 mile per hour damaging winds and hail up to the size of golf balls. So those will be the biggest threats as this line continues to push to the east. I think we just got a new... Wait, may have just gotten a new watch. Oh yeah, apparently we're gonna do a heat map. Let me know where you guys are all tuning in from the chat. We can do a heat map. We'll show you guys where everybody's tuning in from on today's stream. Saw Orlando in the chat. I see San Francisco. Aubrey, Allen, Stephenville. Alright, we're apparently going to do a heat map, but the way we generate it isn't able to work yet, because I'll let you guys know when we can actually do the heat map. We can't do it yet. I thought it was ready. That's only from Lexington, Kentucky. We got Southgate, Michigan. Thank you, Real, for the $5 super chat. Is Waco finally going to be cold? It'll be cold maybe in like a couple weeks, but right now it's not going to be too cold. I don't know if we're ready yet. I don't think we're ready. Hey, Robert, for the super chat. I have no clue, maybe. I might have missed it. We've had a lot of super chats today. Alright, now you guys can put your location in the chat. Please do it again so we can actually make a heat map this time. We can actually do the heat map this time. So put your location in the chat. We'll plot a map and show you guys where everybody's tuning in from tonight. We should have did this earlier when the warnings were ongoing in DFW. Give it about a minute. Got Dayton, Ohio, Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville had a tornado emergency earlier this year. Plano, Texas. Latest radar scan. Still not seeing much rotation anymore. Again, I think the tornado threat is much lower. Still a low-end chance for a brief tornado going up towards Leonard and Greenville, but I think the risk is definitely lower. Hey, Robert, for the $5 super chat. Melissa, Texas, lightning show and heavy rain. That is going to continue for the next probably hour or two before this line is fully out of here. Got Boston, Massachusetts in here. Spartanburg, South Carolina. East China, Michigan. Sherman, Texas. Yuma, Colorado. Alright, we'll have the heat map here in probably a moment. Alright, we'll have the map here in about 10 seconds. As a reminder, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below and click the bell icon so you're notified with the latest videos and live streams. And we'll have the map here in just a moment of the heat map. Also, if you found this stream informative today, make sure to like the stream. We're pretty close to 10,000 likes on today's stream. Hail reports. We haven't had a whole lot of hail today. The only hail that we've really had was back over here in far southwestern Texas. The storms up in DFW, they were not really meant to produce that much in the way of hail. It's mostly supposed to be a wind threat with a few embedded tornadoes. Got somebody from North Dallas as well. Still waiting for the map. It's coming. Takes a second to generate. Is San Antonio okay? San Antonio will be mostly gusty winds. Maybe some low-end tornado potential. Alright, here is the map here. This is honestly impressive. We've never really, I don't think, done a Texas stream specifically and had this much of an audience from Texas. That's impressive, I'm not gonna lie. So this is where everybody's basically tuning in from. Again, the darker colors like the purples mean that there's more people watching from that area. It's pretty impressive to have literally Houston all the way through Dallas in the purple. And then if we zoom into just Texas on its own, a lot of purple in the DFW area, Houston, the Woodlands, San Antonio. And then same thing here, looking at the actual risk of severe weather. It goes to show how big our audience is in North Texas. We have such a huge audience from this area. We appreciate everybody that trusts us to give you the severe weather coverage for North Texas. Again, we've been doing this for well over 5 years now, consistently for North Texas. But obviously, we do all the country. On this channel, we do the entire country. But my origin point was North Texas, and we do a lot of the time go live for more significant events in North Texas, no matter what. So, thank you, Gary, for becoming a member. Welcome to the Velocities. Huge shout out, by the way, to anybody that's become a member or super chatted today. Really appreciate the support. Those are incredible. Helps us be able to do what we do on this channel. There's a lot that goes into these streams and everything that we do, so really do appreciate the support. There's more people in DFW than some states. That is true. DFW has like 8 million people, and states like Montana have like 1 or 2. It's crazy. Found you through a post on Ring. That's interesting. Didn't even know you could do that. Whoever shared my stream on Ring. Huge shout out to anybody who's shared the stream today. Again, we do live coverage like this all the time. We typically have tons of storm chasers also on these storms, live cameras, all sorts of stuff, in-depth radar breakdowns, and a lot more. Well, on that note, we're going to go ahead and wind down this stream, but stay on the stream because what we're going to do is raid our 24/7 weather camera and live radar channel. All right. What we're going to do is redirect you guys all to our second channel. This channel is awesome, by the way. If you have not checked it out, make sure you go subscribe to it. It's the More Max Velocity YouTube channel. You can also look it up on YouTube. This is our second channel where we have live radar. We have cameras all across the country and chasers. We also have cool little things like temperature, humidity, dew point, all that stuff on these cameras. And on top of that, there's relaxing music. There's also alert pop-ups. So whenever a warning gets issued, it will usually pop up on the screen. So check this out. It is going to be what you're going to get redirected to right as the stream ends. Thank you also, Ryan, for the $40 super chat. You should just stream more regularly for fun. I don't usually do that, but I do appreciate the super chat. But yeah, go ahead and check this out. It's on the More Max Velocity YouTube channel. You're going to get redirected automatically to this channel when the stream ends. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe. Chance of a live stream does exist tomorrow and on Monday for possibly Melissa. All right. Thank you guys all so much for watching. We'll see you guys all again in the next one. Goodbye.